Happy new month. Welcome to the month of September. Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a Monday morning edition of the AM show on Joy News. My prayer for you this month really is that it's fruitful. All the things that you've been working on, waiting for, I hope that this month and beginning the rest of the year brings you so many fruits. Now this morning on the AM show, like we always do, I'll start by serving you the AM news, and then we get into our news review. Nana Yachapim Jantwa, the former General Secretary of the CPP, as well as Kofi Capito, the Chief Executive Officer of Consumer Protection, will be joining us to review the newspapers. Muftan Abdullah will then bring you AM Sports, and then we'll get into our big stories. Now, this morning, we have a conversation that is very important. Ghana's rivers and water bodies are rapidly disappearing due to illegal mining, also known as galamsey. And this devastating practice has escalated to the point where the country's future access to clean water is in jeopardy, with fears mounting that Ghana could soon be forced to import water. Think about that. Importing water because of galamsey. Stay with us as we bring you that Joy News Hotline documentary, Poison Rivers, produced by Features editor Richard Kojonyako, as well as other conversations later on in the show. And you get to have your say because we'll open the phone lines for you. But in the meantime, join the conversations on social media at Joy News on TV across all platforms. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Welcome aboard the AM show. Let's start with the news. Many thanks for your time. In our first story, the Ghana Water Company is recommending that Ghana's rivers and water bodies be made national security zones in order to protect them from illegal mining and other abuses. The country's rivers and water bodies are rapidly disappearing due to galamsey, and this devastating practice has escalated to the point where the country's future access to clean water is in jeopardy, with fears mounting that Ghana could soon be forced to import water. Now, in our latest Hotline documentary titled Poisoned Rivers, producer of the documentary, Richard Kojonyako, speaks with the managing director of the Ghana Water Company, Clifford Berima. Here are excerpts of the documentary.
Despite the odds, the Ghana Water Company perseveres. The treated water, painstakingly processed from the sludge, is finally pumped into the homes of hopeful residents. But the struggle is evident in every drop. The water, although clear to the eye, carries the heavy weight of a journey fraught with threats of contaminants.
I think that, like other countries do, water bodies are national security issues. They are national security zones. If Water Resources Commission, though working in it, they are civilians, but it's under the Ministry of Defense. And let's test the resilience of our military and see whether that problem will not be resolved. As at now, yes, once in a while we bring them in to go on, but that's a flash, it goes off. But if you make it their responsibility and they cannot stop our water bodies to be polluted, how can they guarantee citizens that when there is an invasion of foreign forces, they will be able to stop them? And I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military or national security, I'm sure this thing will give me 100 days. I'm sure it will be, because they will be marked by the quality of water. And I know the men. I know what they can do if given that responsibility. So I think that we've gotten to a stage where we need to be brute about it, we need to be truthful about it, we need to confront it head on. If we leave it in the hands of politicians, look, Mr. A will be saying, when you are come, I'll bring them back. Mr. B will say, when I come, I will make sure they don't do it. And it becomes a game.
But it's the politicians that control these.
So that's what I'm saying. That so move it off their jurisdiction, under the jurisdiction of CDS, and see whether there will not be a change. For me, if given the opportunity, that's what I will.
Stay tuned because the full documentary airs at 8:30 a.m. this morning on this channel. In other stories, Ghana National Fire Service spent over 7 hours extinguishing a devastating fire that destroyed several shops and goods at the busy Zongo Lane shopping area near Rawlings Park in Accra. Now, while the cause of the blaze remains unknown, firefighters are facing significant challenges due to poor accessibility, which has allowed the fire to spread rapidly to adjoining shops. The following report has more.
As you can see in your shots, this is the exact spot where the fire started, I'm told, here at the Zongo Lane, closer to Rawlings Park, here in the central business district of Accra. Now, the cause of the fire is not yet known, and as you can see, the shop just caved in as a result of the intents of the fire that has ravaged parts of the shops here at the central business district of Accra, specifically around the Zongo Lane. And we've been speaking to the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service to bring us up to speed on what is happening and what may have caused the fire.
We got wind of a fire outbreak around 10:06 a.m. So quickly we dispatched our station from ministries to proceed to the scene. They did well to get here in good time. Within 10 minutes they arrived and they realized that the fire involved a warehouse containing different assorted items, including also the equipment, electrical appliances and gadgets. So it was fast spreading, and the fact that accessibility was curtailed was a challenge. So they had to call for reinforcement. So as I speak to you right now, we have about 10 fire tenders at the scene trying to contain the fire from spreading.
We have one of the shop attendants whose shop has been affected as a result of the inferno. Where is your shop?
Your warehouse nini na sena adansu ko siyense e dan baku o your shop nechi e ho na jani start here e na e China fonso na esifie no enti me no ye nya asembia ye nyama na ahye almost 20 containers ahegu enti China na wa makwan earlier on wa ma fire service ambedu janu ama ahye amanfo nyama na condemn no mpese mpenifo no sorry maye ye mpenifo moti Ghana man mo sorry maye because yaboka ya yi one box mpo otimi hwe ni na ahye enti ye ni abre na de wa ha no
enti nyama like what sort of things do you sell in your shop?
Mpaboa boxes mpaboa ye last week na yi to say 8 containers ye enti anu mpo ye mpaboa nko na gu warehouse ho enti nyame pa abanchow say omumbrem my because asemwanu ye din say see here boss kana e aka say me twantro sky doso if you grab say auto 10 box mpo wo ye nsem wo ye warehouse 10 box almost say oh 50,000.
The bit about compensation, the mayor of Accra, Elizabeth Saki, promised that they will initiate steps to ensure that the affected shop owners are well catered for.
Now, yes, goods has been destroyed seriously. We have the PC here, and I've even told him already that he just have to get the names and number of people who have been affected. Then we, in our own corner, will know what to do. And even if we have to solicit for help from governments, we are ready to do it for them. But this time around, we want to assess the whole issue to the very end of it.
Also on site was NADMO, and the Greater Accra Directorate Coordinator of NADMO, Samuel Okai, observed developments and promised that they will ensure that the necessary relief items are given to affected shop owners as well.
We are here to monitor the situation until the fire totally quenched. That is what will happen. And after, we'll come and do our assessments. Whatever we see, we submit our report to the assembly, and we follow up with whatever comes up from the assembly.
The challenge, however, is that the fire service does not know when the fire will be completely extinguished. For Joy News, Pius Kojo Baka.
The police are investigating the destruction of a statue mounted in honor of the Big Six at the airport's runabout. Significant damage has been done to the effigies at the 6 men who led Ghana's fight for independence from British colonial rule in the late 1940s. Now, the incident comes just a month after President Akufo-Addo stirred controversy when he rejected completely the notion that the country was founded by just one member of the Big Six. Adobia Asare visited the scene and now reports.
Videos posted on social media by blogger Kobiche at 3:59 a.m. on Saturday show a man actively vandalizing the effigies of the 6 men who were pivotal in Ghana's struggle for independence from British colonial rule. The statue, mounted at the Kotoka International Airport runabout in Accra, features the faces of Ghana's first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the father of the current president, Edward Akufo-Addo, William Ofori-Atta, Emmanuel Obechi-Bilamte, J.B. Dankwa and Akwaje. A man identified by police as Newell Gavu has been arrested in connection with the incident and is currently being questioned by the police investigators. The act has left residents in a state of confusion.
Well, I think it's a bad thing to do. I wish I know the reason why the person did that, because for me this serves as a monumental thing for all of us Ghanaians here. So I think it's a bad thing to do. Of course, you could read a lot of meanings into this. It could be anger. For we are in the political season, so people do things for various reasons. But if you should ask me, I think it's I can say no one in his right senses should do such a thing or would do such a thing. So it's two things: either the person is out of his mind, or it could be out of mere jealousy or anger.
One resident told Joy News one of the damaged effigies was removed by some men dressed in police uniforms just hours after the incident.
That was in the afternoon. I was here, I was looking at them. So they carried the portrait inside the car. They carried the sculpture inside the car. So they were like 5 people carried it inside a black van. I saw them with something like yellow, the right police at the back. They were standing there where they were carrying it inside.
Last month, the country was embroiled in controversy for weeks after President Akufo-Addo, in his Founders' Day message, expressed displeasure at the notion that Ghana was solely founded by Kwame Nkrumah.
I speak to you this evening, rejecting completely the notion that Ghana was founded by one man. Whilst Kwame Nkrumah's contributions to our independence are undeniable and unassailable, it is important to acknowledge for our self-respect that the struggle for our nation's freedom was a collective effort.
The debate over the Big Six and the founding of Ghana has long been a contentious issue in the country. However, these figures remain an integral part of Ghana's history, featuring on various currency notes and in school curricula, among other significant places. Adobia Asare's report for Joy News.
Away from that, health authorities in the Adansi North and Seche Kumewu districts of the Ashanti region say the new hospitals are preventing what they describe as needless deaths. The 2 commissioned facilities constructed by British firm NMS Infrastructure Limited provide a total of 240 beds for patients. The district health director for Seche Kumewu, Lawrence Adinku, is convinced there will be no work for mortuary workers posted to these facilities since death of patients will be limited. My colleague Ohiming Tewia of our health desk has more in this report.
President Akufo-Addo on July 17, 2024, commissioned the 2 district hospitals designed, constructed and equipped by NMS Infrastructure. Fanfare greeted the commissioning ceremonies after several years of waiting by beneficiary communities. Excited about the prospects of the new hospitals, Group Chairman of the NMS Infrastructure, Frederick Su, is convinced the new facilities will deliver quality health care to beneficiary community.
It represents an improvement in the accessibility of modern health care, and it provides modern working environment for the healthcare staff. most importantly, it provides proximity of modern health care for the patients.
The new Adanse North District Hospital aspires to be a specialized maternal and child health treatment center. In 2023, before the operationalization of the new district hospital, the district recorded 11 neonatal deaths. Health authorities say this will be a thing of the past following the commissioning and operationalization of the district hospital. Eric Etiahene is the district director of health. He tells Joy News the district is already seeing a reduction in the top 10 health conditions since the new hospital was operationalized.
As we speak now, we haven't recorded any maternal mortality, and so we pray that with more interventions and more staff to come and support the delivery.
His counterpart at Sechiokumo District, Lawrence Adinku, believes the new facilities have the capacity to save lives. He is optimistic mortuary attendants at the facilities will have no work to do because limited deaths will be recorded at the facilities.
You can see the ultramodern hospital we are all witnessing. We can talk of all the equipment that we need. So for me, at a point I was even asking myself, when we have the mortuary staff posted to me, I asked myself, the mortuary will we be getting work to do at all? Because everything virtually we need to work as a hospital, we have it. In terms of infrastructure, everything is here. Infrastructure, equipment. What I mean is that whatever we need as a hospital to function, we have it here. But unless somebody is destined to die, my thinking is that we have everything we need. Whatever system that needs to be put in place to take care of the clients who will be coming to us, we have all of them in place. So unless somebody is destined or that person's time is up for him to die, if it happens to be the system or equipment we need or whatever to work with, for those ones, forget it. We have everything in place.
Meanwhile, the medical superintendent for Sechiokumo District Hospital, Dr. Alex Agbanu, wants NMS infrastructure to lead the charge in replicating similar facilities across the country.
I've been here for over 8 years, and I remember there's so many cases that we have to refer to other hospitals in Kumasi. Sometimes simple investigation like X-ray, you have to send people to Kumasi, and it's uncomfortable for the patients, sometimes uncomfortable for the healthcare providers. So this one has come, to take all this burden away. If you go around and look at the design and the way it has been built and the way equipment have been installed, I think they deserve that kind of praise from His Excellency the President of the Republic. Because I've been to so many other hospitals, and you will not see the kind of things we are seeing here. The design is so great. If you walk around, you see how things are arranged. It's so fantastic. So NMS has done so well. From what I'm seeing, I would recommend this kind of infrastructure if it can be replicated in every district.
The two district hospitals have since been opened to the general public. Ohime Interior's report read to you.
Still in the Ashanti region, renowned U.S. preacher Apostle Wayne T. Jackson is promising to turn Abesua, a small farming community in the Central District of the Ashanti region, noted for its religious pilgrimage, into a tourist hub. The multi-million-dollar project will cover housing and education infrastructure, religious centers, among others. Now, the promise comes after Apostle Jackson and wife, Dr. Beverly Jackson, handed over a newly constructed junior high school block, washroom, mechanized borehole, and a palace to the community. There's more in this report.
Located at the bottom of the popular Atria Mountains, Abesua is home to hundreds of Christian pilgrims who visit the holy Atria Mountains for religious retreats. But despite its importance to Christendom, Abesua is deprived as residents continue to wallop in extreme poverty. Basic amenities such as education infrastructure, washrooms, and clinics are lacking. Apostle Wayne T. Jackson, founder and president of the Impact Network, first visited the popular Atria Mountains for prayer retreat in November 2023 in response to a divine call to help the people of Abesua. He and his wife, Dr. Beverly Jackson, in July this year, handed over a newly constructed junior high school block, washroom, mechanized borehole, and a palace to the community. The facilities, constructed within a period of 5 months, also followed the distribution of over 600 bags of rice and assorted food items to residents. Apostle Jackson is promising to turn Abesua into a modern community that will boast of modern housing units, medical facilities, and many more. First, he will break ground for an ICT lab to be stocked with about 70 computers, books, and other modern tools. Speaking to Joy News from the US, Apostle Wayne Jackson said funding has been secured for the project.
The library, should I say, and the computer and the technology is being, as we speak, the money is coming over right now, and we're beginning to break ground for the facility. And we're looking to bring over about 60 to 70 computers, clothing. What we have done in 5 months, we started in February, as I said, and in June, we dedicated the school, we dedicated the water, we dedicated the palace, we dedicated the bathroom. All that happened in 5 months. And we're dedicated to even bring more development in that area. I can see in that area having new housing. We're bringing new housing. We're looking to bring up a worship center. Some people ask, well, why did you choose Abesua? We chose that because it was it sits at the foot of the mountain. And it could have been other places we went to, but I didn't know about those places. I knew about Abesua, and that's what we want to help develop, and other communities can come in and also be partakers of the blessings that's coming from Abesua. So we're looking to really build in that area. It's our goal to make that a place where it could be a tourist site. It could be a place of holiness where people come in to seek God.
According to Apostle Jackson, a team of medical staff from the U.S. is expected in Ghana to provide free medical care, along with clothing and food supplies to residents.
We bring in clothing, we bring in medical supplies. I'm bringing a team of medical staff that's going to help help the aid of getting the people as far as their health is concerned. We're going to bring medical supplies. We're bringing food. So a lot of things we're bringing in the month of January, and we're coming to continue to work. So we're able to invest and get them a better education, show them more about who they are and who they can be. That's what you call investing in people.
Apostle Jackson's Impact Network operates the only all-African American founded and operated national Christian television network in America. Ohemin Terrier's report read to you.
Coming up next is Business Update. In our first business story, former president of the Ghana Association of Banks, Alhassan Andani, is asking governments to be quick in restoring the country's creditworthiness. This, he said, will aid Ghana in accessing the international capital market. Speaking at the launch of the Chartered Institute of Development Finance Ghana, Mr. Andani said government should be more strategic in its engagement with debt holders, both locally and internationally.
We have to have that mature conversation. I think we have to restore as quickly as we can our creditworthiness, our reputation as a country. For me, that is, whether it's in the short term, the medium or long term, our biggest problem is to re-establish as quickly as possible our creditworthiness. And I think that given that the domestic debt holders were the most significant, governments must have mature conversations with these debt holders, and let's see how we can immediately wash up and freshen up ourselves, and hopefully our external partners can have a look at us. Now, if we look at it, our bilaterals were not that badly hit. 5 billion was not that high. I mean, their total exposure is 5 billion. Ghana is a very strategic country, and if we are able to manage those strategic relationships, we probably can get the bilaterals to hold our hand over what can be a very difficult medium to long-term private capital market journey.
Economist Dr. Patrick Asuming has maintained that he is not convinced measures rolled out by government will help stabilize the cedi. It follows revelations by Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam that the cedi's depreciation can largely be blamed for the continuous spike in the public sector debt. But Dr. Asuming argues government may have to do more to firmly stabilize the cedi with more aggressive measures.
I think the Ghana cedi, essentially, I don't think government has any short-term strategy that will help stabilize the cedi. It doesn't.
Why do you
I think at the moment, the only two things that will be pointed to is the gold for oil and the gold for reserves. I think the gold for reserves, probably the potential is there and is believable. As for the gold for oil, I mean, I've never been convinced that it is going to do anything to stabilize the cedi. Now, for me, the medium-term thing we have to do is to redirect how we finance the economy from over-reliance on foreign financing, and then also cut all this importation of things that we can produce locally. I think that's where we should be heading. But the recent news that we've been hearing that we are going to import more grains, it doesn't sound like good news for the cedi in the short term. And then I'm sure we also heard that even the syndication loan, the finance ministry says we'll be doing it, but you get a sense that we're going to get a lower amount than we usually get. That also doesn't sound like good news for the Ghanaian cedi. So it's clear that there's no immediate short-term solution to addressing the cedi's challenges.
Next is a currency market update. And that ends it for the business update and the AM News Bulletin on the AM show. Stay with us. Coming up next is the news review and our guest, Nanaya Achapim-Jantua, former General Secretary of the CPP, as well as Kofi Capito, Chief Executive of Consumer Protection. You want to stay with us? Many thanks for your company. It is the news review segment on the AM show. Thanks for joining us. And my guest in the studio with me this morning is Nanaya Achapim-Jantua, the former General Secretary of the CPP, as well as Kofi Capito, Chief Executive of Consumer Protection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Morning, my dear lady.
Is it a good morning or it's a bit early for you?
It's still morning. Too early, but it's still morning.
It's still morning. Yeah. Well, so I'll give you, I'll start with you, Mr. Capito. I'll give you 2 minutes to walk us through what's top of your mind this morning.
What is on top of my mind is how things don't work in Ghana, period. Everything that we've tried to do, we somehow do it halfway and stuff. The reason being is Ghana Airport Company. I think it's not fair to my good people of Ashanti This beautiful airport, the Otunfo, the Prempeh, the second international airport. Beautiful airport.
Yeah.
What they are doing to the people of Kumasi, or passengers that go, actually, to be precise, drivers that go to the airport, I think is unfair.
What's that?
You know, there's a toll process in Kumasi that is not fair to the drivers in Kumasi going to the airport. Accra, the biggest airport in Ghana, when you are dropping passengers, you enter the airport without being charged. Kumasi for some time, because they said it was the design of the airport, forced drivers to pay 1 cedi, whether you are dropping
just
or
to
picking.
enter the airport, yeah.
Then they built this new airport. All of a sudden, they have a 5 cedis charge for you to enter the airport. Dropping or packing. I don't mind when you are dropping because you drop and you leave. What is interesting is when you park at the car park, it happened to me and my driver. My flight delayed, so I got there maybe an hour, 30 minutes late. He had paid the 5 cedis to enter. Then we get to the gate, they say we should validate the ticket. Then they told him that he needs to pay more. I said, but the man paid 5 cedis to enter. They said, oh, it only gave him 30 minutes. And some people, listen, they are doing it to us.
Yes, yes.
And this is something that we, the Ashantis, we should resist.
Yes.
Then my driver goes to pay whatever they say he should pay. They charge him 45 cedis extra.
For parking.
For parking at Kumasi Airport.
Wow. Okay.
Guess what? Accra, the biggest, the busiest. You can't do that in Accra. Why are you doing it to my people in Kumasi? Is it because we are Ashantis?
No,
well, no, seriously.
I just want to say, perhaps it's not an Ashanti factor.
Let me tell you the reason why. They are afraid of the people in Accra.
Oh.
Because big people are in Accra.
That is true.
You get my point? And they know they will be challenged at Accra. And they say, okay, these people, we can take advantage of them. Like I'm saying, they've been taking advantage.
They do every time.
They've been taking advantage for us for so long, even with the 1 cedi for you to drop somebody at the airport. Then they introduce 5 cedis. Like I said, I agree. If you need to pay for the airport, can't you raise the money in Accra? There's more traffic in Accra. You get my point? This is where the concentration should be.
And nobody is looking, so they
Nobody is looking. And then they say, but now if you go to Heathrow Airport, they charge you £5 for you to drop off.
I was going to say that it's done elsewhere in this world.
Guess
but
what?
I mean, I understand why you would feel like it's something done against you. But I don't think you should say it's an Ashanti. It's something you're doing against Ashanti.
No, it should be even.
Right. Okay.
It should be even. Okay. That if you charge me 5 cedis to enter the airport, and you say you give me 30 minutes, it doesn't even sound right. Because the grace period should not even attract a fee.
But why 5 cedis? I've been asking myself why.
I don't even know. You should take it up.
You have cancelled toll in this country. Yeah. So why are you still taking a toll?
As for the car park, maybe.
No, but the toll, they don't define to us what it is for. You get there and if you don't allow.
But they need to maintain
if you don't pay, then
I'm sure they pay people to sweep and take care
of it.
So it's maintenance.
No, they should tell us.
Right.
My dear.
But I get your point, Mr. Capito. I get your point.
There's a fee on the ticket.
Right. Let's
what is it used for? Because they know they can get away with it. But as long as I remain a Kumasi boy and Ashanti, this thing won't happen. If they want to charge the whole Ghana, especially Accra, the same amount as they are doing, charging Kumasi, I don't have a problem.
There's also
okay, let's get into that. Naya, what about you? What's on your mind?
Me, I mean, what's on my mind this morning is very pathetic. And that is, the government should resource institutions. Did you watch the fire service yesterday at Zongo Lane?
Yeah.
They couldn't reach the place. Do you get me? The people around said that the fire wasn't that bad, but the fire service was just standing there. And the fireman said that they don't have the stairs, they don't have the equipment.
They don't have the ladder, actually.
Yes, sorry, the ladder, yes. They don't have it. Oh, but they couldn't even do it on TV. The thing was just burning, and they were standing there helpless. And
eventually they got the...
No, but the
it took a while, but
it was too late. The place had, all the things had burnt, and you could see these Chinese people going up and down. But my issue was that what is the Chinese doing with retail?
They have business.
Yes, because you are not supposed to do retail like
there's a provision that if they invest a certain amount, if they employ a certain amment of people, they can do it.
Yeah, but I mean, retail, but that's for another conversation. But as I saw the fire, just...
It was devastating.
Devastating in this economic situation. And the fire said, do you get it? And that
all
place
those goods lost.
Goods lost.
How are they going to...
It's the hub of Makola. The Zongo, that is where most of the things that we buy in Makola, that's where people go and take it at the wholesale and come and sell. And I'm like, just one fire tender. They couldn't get the ladder. They were just...
I mean, after, in the reports that we aired, I think Alex Mensah, ACOP, someone from the PR department was saying that they had like 10 fire tenders there. That is how eventually they were able to fight it.
No, you said eventually. By the time they got there, the fire had devastated everything. Do you get me? And this is the issue with the fire service. Ever since after 2017, they have not resourced them with equipment. How many years? So many years. Even before that, I think the last time they were resourced was 2014.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we need to, some of these things, in America, in the UK, where we always use as examples, in nearby Abidjan here, Ivory Coast, when there is fire, there is quick response and they have equipment. These are some of the areas that the government should look at.
Right. So it's an appeal that government should resource these. They are very important.
But you don't know when it will happen.
True. You know, let me piggyback
Let's
a little
get
bit.
right.
You know, all of a sudden, walk around Accra, airport, cantonments, Laboni. Have you seen the high rises going up?
The houses.
Okay, and guess what? The ladders of the fire service in Ghana cannot reach
the top of this.
So in case there's fire, and we see Ghana, we don't think.
This is even a two-story.
Let's get into the newspapers. Yeah, let's get into the newspapers.
I'm surprised it's not in the newspapers. I thought it would be front page today.
We have a long way to go. We do. Let me start with the Daily Graphic. On the front page, Bediako unveils 12-pillar economic freedom policy. Yes, that's Cheddar. He said he's seeking to make Ghana a powerhouse. We will get into that story in a bit. Collaborative efforts needed for peaceful election, that is according to the Speaker of Parliament. And Very Reverend Professor Samuel Jedu, the new Methodist presiding bishop, is also saying something here. And no plans for military base in Ghana. This issue has been at the center of controversy, whether the military intends to actually build, the U.S. intends to build a military base in Ghana. They are saying that there are no plans for military base in Ghana. And that story is here, so we'll get into it. But let me start with Nana Kwame Bediako's plans for Ghana. The presidential hopeful and leader of the New Force movement, Nana Kwame Bediako, has launched a comprehensive policy plan that seeks to transform the country into an economic powerhouse, ensure sustainable development, lift people from poverty, and build a governance structure that will allow Ghanaians to enjoy fruits of democracy better. And I just want to get into his thematic areas. He's focusing on industrialization, infrastructure development, energy, education and good governance, with implementation set to be achieved by leveraging the country's enormous natural and human resources activated by strong and quality leadership with political will. Do you think this man has what it takes to tip the scales in a bit? Let me start with Nanaya. Cheddar.
Let me say good morning to your viewers and good morning to yourself. Good morning to my big brother here, Kofi Capito. Everybody wants to be president, isn't it? And it's a dream.
I don't. Well, not now.
But everybody nurses a dream. I watched him yesterday.
I want to be a first lady.
No, if anything, I want to be president. No, not a first lady. Yeah.
I watched him yesterday.
Arriving in that tipper truck, painted with the colors of Ghana.
And having Kwame Nkrumah's picture in the back, everybody, and he calling himself Osajifo. And I'm like, hey, my people can leverage on the legacy of Osajifo, but everybody is speaking Osajifo legacy. And I was also impressed with the in-depth information that he had on every region. Yes. The resources that every region has, and computing it into how much the region is worth. And I was thinking, where did he get it from? Maybe from Statistical Service or NDPC.
He did some research.
He did a good,
so, some good research went into it.
A lot of research went into it. But what I saw was that it was mainly on the economy and a bit of education and governance. He didn't touch on the social aspects and the health too wasn't very clear. I was expecting him to talk about health. I was expecting him to talk about agriculture. I was expecting him to talk about other sectors of the economy. I was expecting him to talk about the depreciation of the cedi and how he's going to ensure that the cedi is stabilized.
I think
but largely, he spoke about the economy.
Yeah. Which sort of is the pivot round which all these other main entities go.
Yeah, but so you need to be specific about how you are going to ensure, especially how importation is a problem for us, and how, I mean, every time we are looking for dollars. I expected him to talk. He also touched on, I was a bit surprised when he touched on gold for cash. He said that we are going to use gold to shore up our. He talked about it, so I was like, this one, where is it coming from? But he didn't speak about Galamsey. Meanwhile, he used the River Pra as a backdrop. So I was like, the way this River Pra is like this, and you haven't said anything about Galamsey. I mean, he didn't go in there. But overall, he put some data together, which was impressive. But he said he was going to have 12 ministers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have gone against the Constitution. The Constitution says 19. Right. So I don't know whether he has a plan to review the Constitution, or as a president, he's not going to work with the Constitution, he's going to put the law aside. And also, he said that he was going to run a government without a vice president. So then he wants to do what Nkrumah did. So he's calling himself Osage, because you remember, Kwame Nkrumah didn't have a vice president, but he had senior ministers and other people helping him. So, I mean, really, on the whole, the aesthetics of it was nice. And afterwards, he did this documentary. I mean, it was not the data and the aesthetics, but now it's left with implementation.
How Ghanaians will also absorb all these ambitious promises.
Right. So, I mean, he educated us on our wealth. And then it occurs to you that if we have this wealth in this country, why are we borrowing money from IMF? True. And that our presidents and our governments might have failed us. Yeah. And we need to really have a rethink, because Ghana is rich.
It is Sikaso, and so accommodate. Mr. Capito. Yeah. Mr. Capito, what about you?
You know, Nana, I say
Freedom Jacob Caesar.
He finds it interesting that he's calling himself Osajifo.
Yeah.
But you know, this man is a show boy.
Okay.
And one of Nkrumah's name was Nkrumah show boy.
Okay, yeah.
You know, look, I'll say that in terms of presentation, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The question is, what is the depth of what he promised to do? And I'm looking at all these manifestos and I'm laughing. Because when you look at the GTP, which is
Great Transformation Plan.
Yes, which by
Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Or Alan Chamante.
Yes, it is interesting that it looks like every manifesto is now copying the things that Alan said. Because he launched his own first. Look, my biggest problem of all this promise.
Really? Even the NDC and NPP? Is that what you think?
I mean, look at what they are saying and then look at what is in the GTP. My biggest problem of all this, and I think we are not talking about it, Nana mentioned the galamsey. We need to have what will be the front issue for any leader, which is law and order. Because in the other jurisdictions, what makes them somehow more doing better than us is law and order.
Adherence to law.
Nobody's above the law.
That's how systems work.
That is how systems work. You know, when Obama came and said that we need to build strong institutions, I was saying, no, you need a strong man to build a strong institution. Because the institutions don't build by themselves.
To ensure enforcement of the law.
Enforcement of the law, that is what we are lacking as Ghanaians. Do you know who I am? Oh, can you, this is one of us, oh, the man has done something illegal. Let the law deal with him. I get a little bit offended when, quote unquote, an individual belonging to a certain party is charged with or accused of doing something illegal.
Or corrupt.
When the person would have his day in court, then you have foot soldiers disturbing my peace. The man who you are demonstrating for does not even give a hoot about you. Whatever that he's accused of, you are not even part of it. If he's accused of stealing money, did he give you some of the money? He let his wife and children come and demonstrate. Me, I will not show up. Honestly, I will not show up when you are accused of doing something illegal against Ghana, because it affects me. Let the law deal with you. If you are not guilty, I would applaud for you. If you are guilty, go inside. Right. And we need to let people know that if the laws are working, look at what is happening to Trump. He's been recharged though. They preferred another charges against a former president.
Again?
Again.
Yeah, again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is...
Anyway.
No, it's not Kamala Harris. It's the system. You see, America, you cannot do that.
Yeah,
it's the system.
Let's do some other stories for the sake of time. Our systems will work. It will take a while, but we'll get. I'm very confident that one day we wake up and the Ghana we see today will not be the Ghana we have.
Cheddar, as a young person, I think had done very, very well. He's giving hope, but no Ghanaian child is like Cheddar. Let's be fair.
Is he a child?
He's a young man.
He's a young man.
Relatively younger than. He should be in early 40s or less.
Yes, something like that. Yeah. Oh, he's very, very young.
Yeah.
And to me, for any young person to be bold and have the resources, look, his media campaign...
You do know that the source of his wealth or money has come under question.
No, I'm just saying that...
So, I mean, you're saying that he has it.
No, I'm just saying that as long as nobody has arrested him, nobody has accused him, then I'm not the one to judge where he got his money from.
Okay.
All I'm saying is he has executed his public image well, presentation, media. You people should be happy because, like in America, you use the media to promote your agenda. So the media should be making money off him.
So the agenda setting for him has worked. Let's do some other stories in the capital.
Sure.
I want to get into this story about no plans for military base in Ghana because this is not the first time it's coming up. There have been so many questions and activities that have raised eyebrows whether or not the USA intends to build a military base here. So the United States of America has no plans of establishing a military base in Ghana, a top security envoy has stated. Major General Kenneth P. Ekman, the director of the U.S. Africa Command Coordination Element, told the Daily Graphic in an exclusive interview that many people had been asking questions on the subject. But contrary to that, he said the United States had no such intention. Rather, he added that what it intended to do was reposition some forces in the region, just as it was doing in Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and Chad. Let me skip to this part where he said the visits to Ghana underscored the strength of the U.S.-Ghana partnership and reaffirmed shared values and commitments to ongoing collaboration to ensure stability and prosperity in West Africa. He has so far met with the government officials and the military leadership, including the Minister of Defense, that's Dominic Ntiwo, and the Chief of Defense Staff, etc., just to strengthen their collaborations on security efforts. But, I mean, to wait, no plans to build a military base in Ghana. What are your thoughts?
You know, sometimes...
I think it settles the skepticism there,
No, I'm just saying that the man who you're accusing of bringing the thing to you says he's not bringing it. But he's talking about collaboration.
Yeah.
He's talking about...
Security, stability in West Africa.
Yes. And we are calling for it. You call somebody that you need support, and he brings you support, and you are worried. I don't get it. Because, look, let me tell you what. The new world order is for everybody to have a big brother, okay, who will come to their aid, as the Americans are doing in Israel, and they are doing it in Ukraine. Okay, everybody has a big brother somewhere, because if you don't have a big brother, somebody will bully you. My issue is, if they want to come, they will come. Who are you, Ghana?
Who are we?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You depend on a man for even AK-47. You get my point?
If you put it that way.
The reason why America cannot...
They also depend on us.
No, let me know, Nana.
Yeah.
The reason why America cannot bluff countries like Russia and Iran and all those people who are...
Because they're a power on their own.
They are powerful. You might beat them, but it will take you a long time for you to beat them.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody, they'll just walk in. And let us not antagonize. I'm not saying that we should go in full speed. Just like Haiti has been abandoned. And if you see the mess in Haiti, it is sad. Okay, we are talking about terrorists, these people, every night they hear they are already somewhere in the north or Burkina Faso somewhere, and they are going to descend, south. Let's make sure that it's a balanced thing. It's a respect thing, where nobody takes advantage of the other person. Yes, I wouldn't want the American soldier to disrespect the Ghanaian soldier, as in most cases they tend to do. Once they come, it's America, and the whole country is behind them. And their foreign policies, when it's time, no matter what you do, it will happen. It is a policy that they actually look at. Why do you think America is all of a sudden interested in Ghana, in Africa?
Right.
For what?
Because of our wealth.
Yeah,
our
because...
our natural...
Kofi, if you tell me that, what do they need from us? We give them a lot.
Like what?
Do you get me? Our
like
resources.
What? Even human capital.
Human capital.
Give them a lot. All the brain drain, where are they going? They're going to America.
America is not
in the United States, in Europe. They're going all over the place.
America is not asking you to.
Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that as we speak, countries are advertising for citizens to leave? I got a message from some Canadian something, and he said the message was titled, "Are you that happy in Ghana? This is your time to explore some." Are you that happy in Ghana? So a country is asking me to abandon my country and come to them, and their way is asking me. It was a face in power moment for me.
They are taking our nurses. They are taking our doctors.
Canada is taking your doctors.
You think that America will be interested in you because of just being interested?
Yeah.
No. They have an interest. And that interest is wealth.
Is you?
Do you get me? The wealth. Do you understand? The wealth. You don't know what they take away when they come. You don't know what kind of negotiations they do. You cannot say that Ghana doesn't give America anything. There must be some interest. And for me, U.S. Africa Command, when are we going to be on our own? When are we going to be in charge of our own affairs? As Kwame Nkrumah said, the African is capable of taking charge of their own affairs.
So far,
when are we
it has been proven that it's not possible.
When are we going to do? You see, Rwanda has done it to the extent that even the UK wanted to send some people who are illegal immigrants to the UK to Rwanda, and they paid 400 and something million pounds Now that UK has rescinded on the decision, Rwanda said, I'm not giving the money back to you. It was an arrangement.
Yeah.
He's going to use it to develop his nation.
Yeah.
Because you see, if Rwanda has been able to do that, Rwanda is an African country. Do you get me? They even came out of war. You see, the selfishness of our leaders is what is bringing us these troubles. Because we need to be able to look after ourselves. Yeah. We need to be able, because with all the resources that we have today, what was revealed, it showed that Ghana is very rich. Ghana is very rich in resources. Ghana is very rich human resource, natural resources. Why are we not harnessing it for the development of our nation?
And are you saying that if we position ourselves as a country with our own power, we should not be worried whether or not an external, a country like the United States wants to establish a base in?
No, I mean, why should they establish? Maybe to be some international collaboration. But sometimes when you go to the American embassy, my dear, it is very sad. Yeah. You see people, queuing under trees. They are just turning people away, praying. and sweetie, the point is that when you go to these countries, life is not easy.
Oh, yeah.
I am telling you, we are waking up at 4 a.m. here, we are talking. If you are not careful, you sleep only 2 hours. Yeah. Because you need to do about 3 jobs to be able to survive. Do you understand? Initially, if you don't go and educate yourself. So I don't see why Africa, Ghana is like this, with all the resources. Because you have one person trying to, how can one person, you maintain ambulances, you use the resources of the organization, and you charge $38 million? One person. One person.
It's what it tells me is that the money is here.
No, I'm telling you,
we have the money. We have the money.
If
or we have the means to make the money.
No, but if an organization can pay $38 million as fees for maintenance, then I mean, what is it?
That is stealing. That is what
I'm saying.
No, that is different. Because you know what? You have Silver Star, who is a Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want parts, where to go better than a dealership?
No, Kofi, that's what.
But the question is, that is stealing. That's another story.
So it's another story. That is why we are here today. Do you understand? One person, sometimes I wonder, all the scandals that have come, I'm wondering, how much money do you need? So even in your own home, you sleep on one side of the bed. You sleep, that's one side of that.
Nanaya, it's greed, though.
Yeah, it's greed and selfishness.
But let me do one more story here, and I'll come to you.
Here.
Yeah. If the money was put to, for the benefit of the greater good, yes, we wouldn't be where we are. Now, the minority is saying the military should be left out of the enforcement on the grain ban. You know that drought situation that has caused looming food crisis. He said it's not drought, it is dry spell. Yes.
Now it's not drought anymore.
It's not drought anymore, it is dry spell. Let me get into the story and then we'll discuss. Just a second. The minority in Parliament has condemned the government's decision to deploy the military to border towns across the country to supposedly enforce the ban on the export of grain from the country in the wake of the reported drought-induced crop failure in the northern parts of the country. It said the deployment of the military without any timelines and broader consultations with the stakeholders raised several questions and suspicions. Let me skip to the part where it says, reacting to the government's decision to deploy the military to border towns to enforce the ban on grain exports, the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, James Agaga, said, quote, consequently, any attempt to deploy the military when there is no evidence to show that the Immigration and Customs Services will be overwhelmed in the enforcement of the ban on the exportation of grain heightens our suspicions. Indeed, the government should be mindful of the cost of military deployment along the borders because it could be more than the value of grains they wish to protect within the country. Is this a job that should have been left to immigration, or are they right to deploy military personnel to go and protect our borders just to ensure that no grains are leaving this country?
Is it protection or it's something else? They are
that's what
deploying them
say.
for this thing. So that's a political thing, because this one, why do you need military? You
don't think we need the military?
We are coming to an election and you are deploying military to borders. What is the meaning of it? What is the meaning of it? They have their own intention. They deploy military to Togo with the view that the people in Togo will come and vote in the voter region. That is why they are deploying military. How are they going to stop people from, bringing grains? And that's
you don't know that for sure.
No, but what Agaga said, it means that at the end of the day, you spend more money than how much grains they should give. You see, I want data like Shedda did. How much grain is exported in a year? The grains, we even import grains.
That is what I was going to say.
So from this export, we import grains. The grains, we import grains from Burkina Faso all over the place. Even from these people who are fighting, what is their name? Ukraine.
Yeah.
We used to import grains from Ukraine. So what are they talking about?
That they said they are trying to protect the country.
I am saying that how much grains is in the country that we are going
from food shortage.
No, but I'm saying if we have a dry spell, it means that this year we don't have grains. So how much grains are we?
We have entered September. They said that we will start feeling the effect in September.
I am saying that so they said that this dry spell started in June, July, August. So 4 months. The planting season for grain started in June. 4 months. How much grains have we accrued to export? Is there availability of grains to export? They should tell us. So what are you going to bring? You see, people have come from Burkina Faso, entered the northern part. Mahama Kru, if you know Tamale, Mahama Kru, they are there in the bush. Where was the military? Our porous borders, they came with cattle. The media has talked about it and nobody is saying anything. Now they want to deploy military to borders. They want to, so that's what? We don't need the military to be deployed to borders for any exportation of grain, ban on exportation of grain. We don't need it.
Okay,
how much grain is being exported? They should give us the quantum and the value. Before
so do you agree that this is a job that they should have left to immigration?
You know, we always do things that makes people suspicious, and I don't understand. We as people. Look.
Nanaya, you are visibly vexed.
No,
I know, but what is the meaning of
it? Like I was going to ask, the last time I checked, we are being accused of importing even plantain. Tomatoes, onions.
Everything. We import tomatoes.
Yes, tomatoes from Burkina Faso.
That's why.
The Burkina Faso.
Well, you know, tomatoes will grow behind anywhere in this country. Anywhere in this country, they will grow.
You know,
all right. Mr. Capito,
if you are coming from Kumasi or going to Kumasi, is it Bunsu Junction?
Bunsu Junction.
If you get the other articulated, they have onions in them.
Yes.
Where are they coming from?
They are
coming from Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
So
some from Niger as well.
Some from Nigeria.
I'm just saying that what are they talking about? Somebody, if you say they are going to smuggle cocoa, that one I
agree with you.
Yes, it's cocoa that we are smuggling.
We are importing grains.
Plantain. Plantain.
There's a Bijan plantain, Sefa.
Plantain.
Sefa plantain.
I have plantain growing in my house. So the question I'm asking myself is, do we do things just to make us feel that we should suspect our government? It's like every that thing that is done is done with the political mind. And I don't get it. We are in
election
year.
Yeah.
This is September 3rd.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's 2nd. It's September 2nd.
Today is 2nd.
Yeah.
Today is 2nd.
Yes, yesterday was.
Sure. So the question is, you know, I'm frustrated.
Why wouldn't you be frustrated?
Okay, so let's put a pin in it and do some other stories. So you both agree with
they are going to what?
James Agaga.
500 million. They need 500 million for farmers. Then at the end of the day, they need 8 billion Ghana cedis to what is that?
To curtail the looming.
No, but I'm saying that what happened to digitalization? That they could not even predict. What happened to forecasting? The meteorological survey was, gave them a warning. The minister was just interested in buying hotel. He didn't listen. And now we are here. He was interested in buying hotel for himself. He didn't listen.
Then I hold for me. Let's do your stories. Yeah, that's true. I get your point. Let's do some other stories.
My story says Eastern Region.
And that's the Ghanaian publisher.
Yeah, Eastern Region hosts town hall meeting tomorrow with a picture of the Minister for Information, Fatima Abubakar. 15 private lotto operators get NLA license. And I hope you allow me to talk about this. Bamia to unveil a business fund for women, to whom MPP rallies behind Protozoa.
Okay, so let's do that story you are
Blame
interested in.
Galamsey for Elmina Cape Coast water crisis. Ghana Water Company saying that.
Yeah.
Yes. So which one?
You can do one because
I can
of
do
time.
one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at why is Ghana becoming a gambling nation?
Because there's nowhere else to make money. And I'm speaking for the young people.
But that is even the danger. Sweetie, ask anybody that gambles. I know people in Ghana. I know people in Ghana who have lost their family, their property, and even everything that they have in life. Gambling is an addiction.
Yeah.
And I am very, very, very disappointed in MPP and NDC saying in their manifesto that they will scratch or remove the betting tax. This is non-starter. Are they, because they are lazy, they can't give jobs to the youth? That is the reason. Because if you accept that, the young men are saying, and that's what they tell me, Mr. Capito, by any you may be a tax. And the lazy politicians have bought into it.
I heard a former president say that in that engagement with the youth, when they launched the youth manifesto, he said, money no day, job no day. The small bets where the youth they do something. That one's one tax. So when he comes, he will
I will call them lazy leaders. Lazy leaders without a vision to condone gambling, and the NLA has given 15 private lotto operators licenses just a few days ago. Look, in any advanced country, smoking is an addiction. Even sex is an addiction. People are treated for sex addiction.
Yeah.
In advanced countries, people are treated for alcohol addiction. People are treated for gambling addiction.
Yeah.
And then these lazy leaders who cannot find jobs, and I'm telling any young man that don't listen to these lazy old men, would they let their children go and gamble? I'm asking Dr. Baumia, I'm asking His Excellency John Mahama, what is the boy's name? The fine-looking boy that he goes around. His son. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. He has a nice name. Sharaf or whatever his name is.
Sharaf.
Would he allow him to gamble? Look, and mothers, you know what? I'm very, very pissed off about mothers in Ghana.
What have we done?
Because you know what? These are your children. These are your children. Do you know the future? Do you know what is going to happen in Ghana? We're going to have armed robbers because it is like an addiction. It's like a drug addict. When he needs the fix, he will find a means to go get it. They will attack you. They will steal from you.
But Mr. Capito, we've had the NLA has been in existence for so many years.
Can I explain why?
What is your pain point?
Let me explain the reason why we even allow Lotto. And if you read the NLA, they say partners in development. The money that is made from Lotto, when you need good roads, some of the money can come from there. When you need a hospital, some of the money can come from there because of the taxes and the monies that they make. So for you to tell me that NLA should be the only person allowed to do Lotto because they collect the money on behalf of all of us for development.
Okay.
But to allow, look, and the danger, this thing that I'm holding, your 10-year-old son watching EPL will go and steal your money, hide somewhere, and bet on the phone.
You have to land on this point.
I'm just saying that I am irritated as a father. I am annoyed as a grandfather that these lazy leaders, and I call them lazy this morning, who cannot find jobs for the young. And the Bible says the devil finds job for the idle hands.
All right, let's land there. Nanaya.
I have the Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
Water shortage in Cape Coast. I think we've talked about it. minority opposing, we have talked about it. Don't abandon country after your studies abroad. If you find
Who's
jobs,
saying that?
It says President appeals to Ghanaian students. If you find jobs for them, they will not leave. They will come back because they don't have jobs to do. They will stay there. Adenta MPP PC boosts police mobility, security in community. And my interest is in the president approved Saglemi negotiation framework. I have a big issue with this Saglemi issue, my dear.
The problem with private partnerships,
yes, why private
develop that?
Because
but it was abandoned for so long.
Who abandoned it?
Oh, well.
They are saying that when they came, if there are issues on it, you've taken the issues to court. You dichotomize between the issues that are legal and the building. Do you get it? The facility. They said that what was left was electricity, water, and sanitation. That is the last lap when you are building. When you do your building and everything is in place, water, electricity, and sanitation is what is left. And if you are supposed to put in $100 million, that's what they are saying. That the survey department did the survey. This big facility, if you put in $100 million, what is wrong with it? Because you use about 1/3 of it to pay somebody just for maintenance. You cannot get $100 million to finish the building for Ghanaians to go and live in comfortably and deal with the legal issues that you are saying. I mean, that one is different. It doesn't mean that, because right now the issue is still in court and you are, getting a private person to come and build. How then will it be affordable to Ghanaians? Meanwhile, Ghanaians don't have places to lay their heads. You have allowed this place to run down. Thieves have entered and taken away sinks, pipes, vandalized the whole place. And now you are going to give it to a private developer.
But Anaya, whether or not it will be affordable, that is the details of whatever collaboration that is going on.
But I am saying that why have we gotten to this point and given it to a private sector person? Because $100 million for that big facility, for electricity, water, if it is true, well, electricity, water, once you build and it's left with electricity, water, and sanitation, it means you finish the building. I thought they were going to talk about maybe inbuilt wardrobes and things, sinks and electricity, water, and sanitation, sewage. That place is big. So you can't find the money to do this for Ghanaians. You cannot. You have to go and put it in the hands of a private sector person. Wait for it to go bad 8 years. Then now you said that you are going to find a private sector person to work on it. Doesn't make sense. How then will it become affordable? Because the private sector person is working for profit. It is not for free. And you, government, you can't find this money for Ghanaians to enjoy the building, to also be there and have a decent place to live. The concept is good. If there were issues about it, fine. Deal with the issues. And also make sure that the place is done for Ghanaians to stay in and enjoy. And have a place to shelter food.
Right.
It is key.
We have to go. But,
but
I mean, at the end of the day, the devil is in the details. So I want to see the copy of whatever contract and finalized agreement so we can probe and see how it benefits,
even in terms of awarding the contract.
Oh, the open bids. I think it's been a process. They've been doing this for about 4 months now. And Kojo Oponkruma keeps putting it in the newspaper. They first opened bids. They gave us a number of people that were shortlisted. I can follow the process.
I did. Following it.
No, I did.
And you know the person who
not off the top of my head. Yes.
I'm saying that the issue, when we spoke about it, that they have neglected the place, they said the issue is in court. Is the issue still not in court?
Well. That is Nanaya Achapim-Jantua, former General Secretary of the CPP, as well as Mr. Kofi Capito from Consumer Protection
Yes, because
Agency.
John
Thank you so much for joining us for News Review, Nanaya.
Yes, because he did it. They don't want to give the credit.
Right.
So they should just
stay with us because sports is coming up next. Thank you for staying with us.
Good morning, everyone. Time now to bring you sports here on the AM show with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Black Stars technical team members are currently in stable condition after suffering a ghastly road accident on Sunday morning. The Otoado and his technical team members were returning from Takwa, where they had gone to watch in Swatruman come up against Samatex in the Champion of Champions game that took place at the Takwa T&A Stadium. The Ghana Football Association, in a statement, indicated that the technical team members, their car went into the part of a pickup that clashed with the car of the technical team members, leading to this ghastly accident. But the GFA said that the technical team members are in stable condition. The statement said that the vehicle carrying head coach Otuado and assistant coach John Pencil and goalkeepers trainer Fatau Dauda, a Land Cruiser with registration number GR6521-2021, avoided a head-on collision with a pickup truck which veered off into East Lane with some damage to the vehicle. The FA said that they are happy to report that all 3 members of the technical team are in stable condition and will undergo further medical assessments as precautionary measure upon their return to Accra. So the Ghana Football Association earlier this week, or last week rather, announced the Black Stars squad that will be coming up against Angola and Niger in the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier. The players are expected to start arriving today for the African Cup of Nations qualifier. But as we speak, we do not have an update as to what the current situation of the technical team members are and whether they will be able to open camp later today as expected following the announcement of the squad last week, Thursday. Now, let's bring you highlights of how Samatex won the Ghana Football Association Super Cup after defeating Inswatruman by 1-0.
Mama on the move for Samatex. Seydou Abubakar looking for Godwin Sefa. The champions of Tender Heat on the FA Cup champions. Here is Richmond Darko swings in across. Abubakar's header. Brilliant save by Sabiakwa. What a Samatex.
That's just beautiful to watch. That's just world class. But Samatex are moving the ball slowly, but with so much intent. And left on mark, right in the Swatre.
So they're up for a date with a newly promoted side. Expected to be a regional of the season. Afu's delivery. Header goes in. And that's the open goal. Emmanuel Mama has opened the scoring for Samatex. With about 11 minutes to go. It is the lead striker, Emmanuel Mama, with a thumping header. Sabiakwa unable to have jumped into the lead. In the Timber Giants 1 and Swatruman 0 in the Super game.
Thanks for losing concentration. That wasn't a dangerous ball, and again, right in between 2 in Swatruman. And just look at that lovely ball. Not a dangerous one, but the positioning of raising 2 trophies in the space of 2-3 months.
Yeah. Amazing feat.
Yeah, and that's how you build a winners, or that winning mentality. And you know, this year one of the things they'll be looking at doing is making Sama Boy a fortress for themselves.
And look at how all of them to be lifted up. Here they go, and Samatex are champion of champions 2024. The winners of the champion of champions of Ghana football after beating Inswatruman by 1-0. And all hail Samatex.
Samatex are Ghana representatives in this year's CAF Champions League, and the Forestry Commission has given them 100,000 Ghana cedis as their support to help them succeed in the CAF Interclub competition. My colleague Haruna Mubarak has more in this report.
In terms of the figures that they churn out in production, and then
another ripple effect of FC Samatex's league win. After meeting with President Akufo-Addo and the Speaker of Parliament, the team, which is owned by a timber firm, presented their Premier League trophy to their parent company, the Forestry Commission. It took the club just 2 seasons to emerge champions of Ghana.
After writing about them, they always mention that they are timber lads, which is positive. So timber is mentioned as part of their team. So we'll call on all the timber firms and then people in our sector to be proud of this team and support them, not only by attending their football matches, especially when they are playing the African Cup in Accra, but also supporting them financially, because it takes a lot to be able to operate at that level, play home and away in their football matches. And I also congratulate you for the achieving the first feat by winning both away and home your first round. We are so proud of you.
Following the trophy presentation, the Forestry Commission showed their support with an undisclosed cash donation to aid FC Samatex as they prepare for the second preliminary round of the CAF Champions League.
Let me say this. The CAF has given me some bragging rights. So now when I meet my colleague Paramount Chiefs, they call me the champion. And I love that. So I say thank you to Mr. Century and his team. And what do I say again? Samatex, they're doing well, and I hope they go far. You're here this morning to present to us your cup, and I think it's in the right direction. Because what's unique about Ghana is that everybody is born to a family. Everybody. I mean, if you go to Nigeria, it's different. If you go to Europe, it's different. If you go to US, it's different. But in Ghana, everybody is born to a family. Why do I say that? Because Samatex is born to the FC family. We're talking about Forest. And that's what they do. So it's no wonder that they're coming back here to show to their parents what they've achieved so far. And we are grateful for that. With that said, we know that anytime your kid, they do something great, you give them a pat on the back. And that's what FC we're going to do. We're not giving them a pat in the back. And I have this envelope. And custom demands that I don't mention what's in the envelope. I would have loved to do it. But custom demands, as a money, you can't talk about money in public. So it's money, and it's an envelope. And it's fiscal cash, so you can imagine how much is in it.
I never knew you have FC. I know Forestry Commission, but I didn't know you are known as FC. So we have FC, and we are also FC Samatex 1996. We thank you very much this morning for this great gesture, and we promise that we will come back not only with the champions of Champions Cup, but to take out the Moroccans and get into the group stage. And then, by God willing, once we get into the group stage, you will see another cup.
Given the challenges of securing funds for continental competition, FC Samatex will seize this financial boost.
Definitely. To play in Africa is very, very expensive. And that is why we've appealed to the whole nation, corporate bodies, institutions, to help us. So definitely it is very going to help the boys to move forward and achieve much more success during the African campaign.
You want to tell us how much?
I can't disclose it because I have not even opened the envelope.
Last question. How confident are you ahead of the Raja clash?
We are very confident, but like I told you, we have 2 important matches ahead. We are focused. We are doing our normal training. We are going to take it game by game. It's also another football game.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bavina, has cut a sword for the construction of the SD Dombo University Sports Stadium. Rafiq Salam has more in this report.
Some Manakin Sport Babin started the day at the campus of the Simon Diodon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDDU base, where he broke the grounds for the construction of the phase of a sports complex. Before getting out for the ceremonial groundbreaking, he met and interacted with management of the university.
And we decided to buy the bullets. We didn't want to be modest. We want to be ambitious because we see the future of this university. Not from this humble beginning, but when it's fully fledged and mature university. And so what we're coming to do here, as we've been told, is the first phase. The others can continue even after we are gone. But we're looking at starting on a solid foundation.
Vice Chancellor of SDD Yobates, Professor Emmanuel Deribile, poured laudations and encomiums on Speaker Alban Gbabin for the initiative, stating it fits into the agenda of the university.
We know that this facility would enhance our capacity to train our students in various sports and activities and to prepare them well to participate in inter-university games. The sports complex also fits into our agenda to introduce physical education in the School of Education Lifelong, and Lifelong Learning.
Wembley Construction Company has been contracted for a 6-month project. Its chief executive, Robert Tete Coleman, threw further light on the project.
So what we have is a 110 by 75 meters football field. That is a standard football field that we can play international matches on. You know, GFA, they sanction between 96 meters to 64. So what we have done here even is bigger than the GFA standard. So any international football match can be held here. And where we are also getting our grass from is a company in China called CC Grass. And they are FIFA's #1 preferred producer. So when it comes to the quality of the grass, we don't have a problem at all.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Pro Rights 2024 was the 5th edition of the Prudential Life Insurance Cycling Championship, and Nigeria's John Gabriel and Tracy Kwarson, they emerged victorious in the men and women professional categories. My colleague Razak Musbao was there and has more in this report.
The event, which was held at the Independence Square, drew hundreds of cycling enthusiasts to participate in the 5th edition of the annual cycling event organized by Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. The day was extra special as it was a key part of activities to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Ghana's leading insurance provider. They kicked off with an exciting 20-kilometer amateur race which featured both male and female participants. After some 40 minutes of intense cycling, Reginald Amond and Famis Bors emerged as the top finishers in the men's and women's categories, respectively. Each winner received a prize of 3,000 Ghana cedis, along with a medal, trophy, and certificate. Following the amateur race, the professional cyclists took to the road, with the men competing in a 100-kilometer race and the women covering 75 kilometers. In the men's race, John Gabriel powered through to finish ahead of the competition. His victory earned him a cash prize of 15,000 Ghana cedis, along with a medal, certificate, and a glittering trophy.
I didn't know I'd be able to attend the race, so I was training, looking on that. Okay, maybe I will come, maybe I will not come. So at the end of the day, I still came, and actually for the start of the race, when we wanted to start the race, I never knew I'm going to win the race actually. So I was just looking at maybe within first 3. So that was I was just trying to push anyhow. Maybe 1, 2, 3 will come. I just go first 3 anyhow. So to God be the glory. At least I won the race, so I think I deserve it.
The women's category also, Treasure Kwarson clinched first place, taking home 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize, along with a trophy, medal, and a certificate.
I took 3rd place last year. This year, we as a team, me and my team, we try to put in our best in training more harder to get more better position, and everything worked out perfectly.
Head of Sustainability at Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Emmanuel Hammond, expressed profound satisfaction with the turnout, emphasizing the company's ongoing commitment to promoting a healthy lifestyle through cycling.
Really impressed. I think it's gone better than we anticipated, and this year's Pro Ride has been really thrilling. We've always had people come from other countries to compete, but I think this year our brothers and sisters from Nigeria really represented. So we're throwing this challenge out to all cyclists in the other countries, West African countries. Anyway, if you're watching, come next year. Come and compete, come to win, just like our Nigerian brothers have done. And also want to, challenge our Ghanaian cyclists to, train harder, train hard. Let's keep the cup here in Ghana. But yeah, we really hope that the community, at large embraces cycling and everybody gets involved and, to stay active and to stay fit. That's why we are doing this anyway. And we're really grateful to the Cycling Federation, to all our partners, and to everyone who participated, everyone who left their homes and came all the way here to participate. We're really grateful. And we are hoping to see you next year. Next year, we're hoping that the numbers will grow again, just like this year. And next year when you see Pro Ride, just put it in your calendar, all right, and show up.
On their part, the Ghana Cycling Federation expressed profound gratitude to Prudential Life Insurance for their continuous support to the sport and commitment to promoting healthy lifestyle using cycling.
You're still watching the AM show. Now, Ghana's rivers and water bodies are rapidly disappearing due to illegal mining activities. We all know it. It's Galamsey. Now, this devastating practice has escalated to the point where the country's future access to clean water is in jeopardy, with fears mounting that Ghana could soon be forced to import water. This morning, we bring you a Joy News Hotline documentary, Poison Rivers, produced by our features editor, Richard Kojonyako. And after that, we have a conversation to elaborate on it more. Enjoy.
The ones clean.
Along the banks of the Pra River, Alfred Loko stands, staring at the murky water. Alfred fishes and farms here at the Anlo Beach, a community near Shamai in the western region. Alfred remembers a time when he could see the riverbed, clear and swarming with fish. Now the water is a thick toxic sludge, the result of illegal mining activities. Galamsey had turned the lifeblood of the land into poison.
When the mining was not done in the Pra River, we were using it to do all our chores, including drinking it. All we needed to do was to put in camphor. We were using it to cook and wash. Everything has been destroyed now.
First person, yet me the banana dinner. Would you see Unyama if you over to Madia sea? Upper, Musoni over to Manu. See Abibia Poto Asai.
Alfred laments the loss of their livelihood, describing the daily struggle to secure water for drinking and household chores as a relentless battle.
Ebia Bula, Bakadi Asai, Unuma Abaha.
We now resort to wells. The lagoon here is completely destroyed. It's unsafe to drink it because there may be complications. All we drink is sachet water, and this is very expensive.
Just on the other side of the river is Francis Kofi. Francis appears unfazed by the destruction caused by the Galamsey activities and still feels there could be life in the river.
Okay, yo Jimmy ya yonkuja jama achia kata kerere onya nanyeba achia na chizazava ite kuochia nuna.
This river used to be full of fine sand. We could drink from it when it rains, but now due to the Galamsey activities, the river is polluted. We cannot drink nor use the water for any domestic activity. We also used to do small fishing here, but the fishes are gone. We are struggling as we have to depend on the well or rainwater in the rainy season.
Amidst the disappointment, he bemoans the irony of living beside a once thriving river, now so polluted that the community is forced to buy sachet water and rely on rainwater for drinking and household chores. The sight of the murky, lifeless river constantly reminds them of their predicament. It highlights the bitter contrast between their past abundance and present scarcity.
Because of the washing done by the Galamseyers, the river is filled with chemicals, weeds and mud. The fishes are all gone due to this situation. If you fetch your water for drinking, it is full of mud. We are really struggling to get drinking water because this one is no.
Mothers used to fetch it to wash their dishes, their clothes for bathing, but these days it's very difficult for them to even fetch the water. You can testify it because it's very dirty.
Daniel Fiase is appalled about the lack of action to deal with the menace of illegal mining that is wiping out their livelihoods.
For now, what we have adopted is to get a community well, so that one will help us. Because relying on this water is not anything 100%. So we are no more relying on this water.
You live by the river, but you are not...
relying on it.
Do they still fish in this?
The fish, they are doing it, but it's not like those days.
In this river?
Yes, because since the water is very dirty and a lot of chemicals, it is also affecting the life of the fishes in the water, or the aquatic organisms in the water.
In the Shamar district of the Western region, 6 communities have become a testament to the havoc caused by rampant illegal mining. Over 3 years, diarrhea cases have surged alarmingly from 5,000 to 10,000, a stark indicator of the deteriorating water quality. Communities relying on contaminated water sources are at risk of waterborne diseases. The long-term exposure to heavy metals, according to scientists, can lead to chronic health conditions, including neurological and kidney problems.
Anytime you mine gold, the soil, God created the world in such a way that once everything is locked up, we don't have problem. But once you disturb the soil and you pick the gold comes with arsenopyrite rocks. So once you pick the gold and take out the gold from it, the others are there to cause havoc. One particular chemical is arsenic. Those days, arsenic was used as pesticides, weedicides. These arsenic are always with the gold mine operations. People use mercury in extracting the gold. Mercury is also another problem. Once you apply more fertilizer, you are adding more cadmium into the environment. And these are all carcinogens. They can cause cancers, they can affect our kidneys, they can do whatever they are there to do. But these are heavy metals, they are metals. Even though it's so easy to clean them up, there's a possibility to clean them up. But that comes at a cost. And that is why most people now prefer groundwater to surface water. But in our setting, if you want to use groundwater, how many can afford? The surface water is supposed to be the cheapest. And that is what we need to protect as a nation, as individuals. Those of us who find ourselves around this place, we are directly affected because we get our water from the Pra River. And today, the Pra River has become a mining hub. A whole factory of mining gold is at the Pra River. So we are directly affected. Even though all the water bodies that have been abstracted by Ghana Water Company are affected, we are the most affected. Look at the color of the Pra River. It's no longer a river, it's become a mud, more or less, with all these heavy metals and the mercury. And so it becomes a problem if you want to use it directly. But even the sachet water, we don't know how they are backed. Whether it's the same tap water that they go to hide somewhere. Everything is possible in Ghana and do that. So to avoid this, we need to come as a nation to look at all these things, and together we find a way to clean the water and for all of us to get good and safe water to drink.
Professor David Kofi Suman, an esteemed environmental scientist at the University of Cape Coast, sounds the alarm on the relentless galamsey activities ravaging Ghana's rivers and water bodies. With a deep sense of urgency, he highlights the catastrophic impact of chemicals seeping into these waters, posing a grave threat to the health of countless Ghanaians.
You see, those days when we clarify water, we use just the water stands for some time and the sediment drops and it becomes clean without adding much chemicals. Today, because of the nature, it's mud. It's not water. They are squeezing water out of mud. And so they will have to add a lot of chemicals, alum,
to be able to settle this thing that we are talking about. And apart from the cost implication, even our own health, because every chemical is dangerous, even water is dangerous. That's why we are all concerned about water today. The amount of chemicals they will have to add before we can get clean water. And they are not at their level. They are operating far below their level capacity. Because with this situation, you can't even get to 60% of your capacity. They are always working beneath the capacity which they are supposed to be. So water command is overwhelmed. And they have to produce water at all means for us. No matter what the cost, they have to produce the water for us. And so the issue is a bit complicated. We have done the research. We know what is in the water. Heavy metals are there. Pesticides are there. Pharmaceuticals are there. Endocrine disruptors are there. So how do we get it out?
For Professor Suman, the toxic brew unleashed by illegal mining is a ticking time bomb, endangering lives with every drop that taints the once pure rivers.
If you go to our hospitals, majority of the problem we have at the hospital are emanating from environmental issues. I think it's about the time that media brings them out. Because if somebody is getting kidney problems and whatever, it's basically through what the person ingests into the body, whatever goes in the human body. So what is it that is getting into ourselves? What are we taking in? The food, the water, the air, the soil on which we are growing our plant. So this is a serious issue that we have relegated it. Nobody talks about it.
The Pra River, the Ofin River, the Ankobra River, and many other rivers that once represented life in our various communities have been desecrated. There's virtually no life in them. All the living things that once depended on them for their survival are now no more. Traditional norms and customs once acted as vigilant guardians of our water resources, shielding them from human encroachment and pollution. These water bodies were revered as sacred abodes of gods and ancestral spirits, untouchable and protected by cultural taboos. This reverence ensured that rivers, lakes, and streams remained pure, untouched by the hands of those who desecrate them. Now these age-old practices have faded into memory. The sanctity once accorded to these natural treasures has been overshadowed by the allure of monetary gain. Sacred waters, once no-go zones, are now vulnerable to exploitation. Their purity sacrificed at the altar of profit. What was once protected by deep-seated respect for tradition is now undermined by the clinking of coins as the sacred is sold off piece by piece. The Ghana Water Company continues to post challenges affecting the processing of water for the consuming public. At their water treatment plant here at Sechahiman, illegal miners continue to mine very close to the intake point of the company.
This is the Sechahiman water treatment plant. In fact, where I stand now is the intake section of the treatment plant. This is where the plant here draws water from the Pra River. That is the main source of water that they use in processing the water you and I have in our various homes. But where this plant sits is where the Galamsey activities go on unabated. And they care less. There is nothing that even amuses them. When they are even tagged, it is there that they come in their droves. In fact, where we stand, we could see a lot of them having a field day on the Pra River.
The water treatment plant is under siege. The company's workers stand on the front lines, waging an ongoing war against the murky, sludge-filled water that was once a crystal-clear lifeline for countless communities. The water treatment plants, once efficient hubs of purification, now resemble battlefields. Here, modern equipment struggles against overwhelming turbidity levels. constantly straining under the burden. The filtration systems, once designed to handle sediment-free water, now groan under the weight of heavy metals and salts, leading to frequent breakdowns.
So the Sechira water treatment plant was designed with turbidity levels of about between 800 to 1,000. But now we hit turbidities of about 11,000. Yeah, yesterday I think turbidity was about 9,000. So turbidity, like I told you, you can say is about how unclean the water has become in terms of silts. So water treatment plant that is designed to abstract water without silt is now abstracting the water with silt. So you abstract the water. You have to, so if it is, let's say, a full container, half of it is already silt. So it means that after treatment, half of it is waste. So if you are expecting to get 10 buckets, you get 5 buckets. So if you produce in 24 hours, you should get 10 buckets in 24 hours. Now you are going to get 5 buckets in 24 hours. So definitely you will get less water to supply to the people. That is not it. The other things that come with it is the facilities are not designed also to treat this turbid water. So you have your pumps breaking down. You use a lot of energy to treat turbid water, and many times you have to shut down, clean the system again. So when all these are happening, you see that you will get insufficient water in the system to supply to your people. That's a challenge we have. Ordinarily, we will use alum as our conventional coagulant. Now we use a more expensive chemical, which is like 4 times expensive than alum. A polymer is very expensive. So water treatment cost is really going up. As I said, apart from chemical costs, you are breaking down your pumps very often.
Central Regional Manager for the Ghana Water Company, Eric, said Etiapa reviews the challenges the company continues to grapple with in their bid to process water and pump into the homes of Ghanaians.
The pumps over there were supposed to last minimum 40 years. This is the 3rd time in 12 years or so. I think about 14 years, 2008 to now, 14, 15 years, that we are changing it. So something that should last 40 years, 10 years is gone. So you can see what is happening now. So losing 70% of a lifetime of an equipment is not an easy thing. And these are very expensive pumps, really, really expensive pumps. But I think the best way is not even to cause it. You create a problem, then the whole water treatment system has been re-engineered to take care of all these things. Then we have to go downstream to check again whether they are there. Who bears all this cost when we know that prevention is better than all these things?
In 2022, the Ghana Water Company reported high consumption of water treatment chemicals, alum and lime, because turbidity levels were high. It highlighted high frequency in water quality monitoring and management systems, high siltation of intake sumps, frequent wearing and replacement of electromechanical equipment, high volumes of sludge generation and downtimes, high process loss due to frequent dislodging and backwashing. This has resulted in high water used in treatment, about 40 to 50% process losses in systems affected by galamsey activities. The turbidity levels of the river, measured in stack numbers, tell a tale of despair. What was once clear and life-giving is now a murky, opaque challenge, with turbidity levels soaring to unprecedented heights. Each day, the company's engineers must tweak and tinker coaxing the overworked machines back to life, knowing that every breakdown delays the precious flow of water to homes in dire need.
This is silt, and so out of the amount of water that we have fed here, look at the amount of silt we find in this amount of water. So it tells you the kind of difficulty the Ghana Water Company goes through in processing the water and getting water pumped into our various homes. All of these things have arisen because of the Galamsey activities.
But the Professor of Environmental Health at the University of Cape Coast, Professor David Kofi Capito, says the country may be heading towards a water crisis, an imminent crisis that should make the country sit up and deal aggressively with the Galamsey menace. He believes Ghana Water Company's treatment regime is unable to take the heavy metals and other chemicals washed into the rivers as a result of Galamsey activities.
The fact is that our water treatment system was handed over by our colonial masters during independence. And it does three basic things. You get the water, it clarifies the water to make it clean, and then we chlorinate the water to kill germs and pathogens in the water. These are the basic things our water treatment system does. Anything other than that is a problem. But during those days, the pesticides, the heavy metals, the endocrine disruptors, they all get into the water body. But our treatment system does not take care of it. It doesn't attempt to take anything out. So they are always in the surface water that is being treated and piped for us, which makes our situation very vulnerable. And if steps are not taken, we only focus only on Galamsey. Galamsey is a problem because that is what everybody sees. It's a real problem, but there are others that are equally problematic. Pesticides, herbicides, they are all pharmaceuticals, everything drains into water bodies. Everything that exists on earth, when it rains, it moves into our water bodies. And so as a nation, we need to look carefully and critically at the way we are treating our water.
Professor Isuman cautions that if the issue of Galamsey isn't addressed, the country may face a future where importing water becomes a necessity and a surge in waterborne diseases will plague the population.
So from their point of view, fine, they are doing their work. They are treating the way it's supposed to be treated, and it's clean water. But in real sense, we've gone past that line. That we need to further do other works to clean the water. But they cannot do it because they are handicapped. They don't have the facilities. So if Ghana now thinks that we have used this system for about 70 years or 60 years, we need to change it. Because there should be proper monitoring and evaluation of whatever we do in the country. Let us properly evaluate the treatment system handed over to Ghana Water Company and find out whether it is fit for purpose for today, the 21st century water treatment systems.
Despite the odds, the Ghana Water Company perseveres. The treated water, painstakingly processed from the sludge, is finally pumped into the homes of hopeful residents. But the struggle is evident in every drop. The water, although clear to the eye, carries the heavy weight of a journey fraught with threats of contaminants.
How we treat our water bodies is what reflects in what we call Galamsey. If we had the passion for protection of our water bodies, some of these things would not even come. And so it is not just the Galamsey, it's all human activities. I think that, like other countries do, water bodies are national security issues. They are national security zones. If Water Resources Commission, though working in it, they are civilians, but it's under the Ministry of Defense. And let's test the resilience of our military and see whether that problem will not be resolved. As at now, yes, once in a while we bring them in to go on, but that's a flash, it goes off. But if you make it their responsibility, and they cannot stop our water bodies to be polluted, how can they guarantee citizens that when there is an invasion of foreign forces, they will be able to stop them? And I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military or national security, I'm sure this still will give me 100 days. I'm sure it will be, because they will be marked by the quality of water. And I know the men. I know what they can do if given that responsibility. So I think that we've gotten to a stage where we need to be brute about it. We need to be truthful about it. We need to confront it head on.
Documentary detailing where we are now with our water crisis, and potentially in the future we could be importing water. This is devastating to even think about it. But let's discuss this. In the studio with me is Dr. Bob Alpha. He's Executive Director at the Water Resources Commission. We also have Awula Sewa, Coordinator for Eco-Conscious Citizens, and Vincent Opong Asamoah, the Ranking Member for the Works and Housing Committee. But first, I want to speak to Erastus Asare Donko. He's editor at Love FM in Kumasi. Erastus, many thanks for your time this morning on the AM show. You have documented the impact of Galamsey on our water bodies extensively. First, I want to take your impression on this documentary, and can you describe the most striking things that you have seen in your activity so far?
Thank you very much. And we had started documenting this, what is being said now, way back 3 years ago, when we went to the Dabwase intake point of the PRA, and we fetched samples. We also tested them to reveal the heavy metals that we have across them in the country. From the PRA River, we've been going on it from Chifo Praso, Chifo Kotoche, and Chifo Etimokwa areas where Chinese miners are polluting directly the river source. And so we have been talking about this for a very long time, and we have been drawing the attention of the country to it, but no action. If we had acted 3 years ago, we wouldn't have gotten here, because it started around 1,800 NTU when we first went there. It came to 7,000. We did reports on it. Then we are now at 14,000. Only God knows where we will get to. As we speak, the most striking thing is that those who are polluting it are still on it. When you go to Rwanda, the people there are now buying aluminum sulfate to settle the water before they use it to bath. Those who are polluting it have not stopped. Even as we speak, they are still there. And so I don't know where we can start from, but we can start from the top and whittle it down and declare, as the law says, a no-go area for mining close to water bodies and even on water bodies.
Right. Erastus, would you say that's your work and the other things that other media, press men are doing to highlight the effects of Galamsey is reaching the attention of our leaders at all?
I can tell you that our leaders are aware. They are aware of our reports. They also get reports from the BNI almost every single week on the pollution levels, those who are polluting it. We are reliably informed that there are reports that are filed from these security agencies on a daily basis, and so they know. And it's time for them to act, because we do not have the law in our own hands to do this. The only person entrusted with the law is the president and the government.
Erastus, thank you so much for joining us. And let me come back to the studio with me. Doc, many thanks for your time here. So like Erastus was saying, we started from 1,800 to 7,000, and now Ghana Water Company is reporting 14,000 NTU. Paint a picture for me of the state of pollution, turbidity of our water bodies, and how this serious problem has evolved over the years.
Thank you very much. I think the picture is very clear for all of us to see. If you look at the devastation of our water bodies, especially within the southwestern system, you cannot describe it with words. It is heart-wrenching. In fact, sometimes if you see it on pictures, it is a bit milder than if you go to the field.
So these photos don't even do justice
to depict the actual situation on the ground. We are running into a crisis when it comes to water resources, especially within the southwestern area. We have been talking about this for so long, and I think action needs to be taken. If we don't take time, in the next 2-3 years, we will not even be able to get 20% of water supply, for the southwestern areas.
Doc, please speak up.
And that is that will be a big challenge for Ghana if we cannot even supply the basic, things for our citizenry, that is water. It has been with us for so long, and I will say this is the right time, if not already too late, to take action immediately. Otherwise, we are heading to serious crisis. Not only for water supply, the land is heavily degraded completely. It is going to affect agriculture. It is affecting the ecosystem. There are health concerns in terms of the chemicals in our water bodies that gets into the fishes. Eventually, we are going to lose almost every life in the water bodies. And the picture is gloomy.
But as a commission, you have the mandate to regulate and manage Ghana's water resources and coordinate government policies, in relation to them. So I'm sure that includes having access to data, the statistics of how bad or good it is. Do you in fact have access to these figures, and what do you do with them?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we do monitor the water bodies every week. So we have the water quality data. We even have pictures. Normally, when we take the samples, we also take the pictures. We report to our ministry monthly on the state of our water resources.
You mean the ministry receives reports on the state of our water resources every month?
That is part of our operational, scheme. So we make sure it is not just the southwestern system, but we undertake monitoring across the country. But when you talk about Galamsey, it is purely within the southwestern system, the Ankobra, the Pra, the Tano, and of course, it even has international implications because the water bodies from Bia and Tano flows to Ivory Coast, and they are complaining about the state of the pollution from Ghana, and this has international, repercussions. We have information on the state of our water bodies. What is left is the action to address it. So,
and what's the challenge there? I saw Professor Asuman was saying that nobody talks about it enough, and even when we do, the commission, you're civilians, and so really, it's out of your hands. But is it really out of your hands? The taking action part?
Not entirely. Action normally will start, first of all, by knowing what the situation is. And that is why we carry out the monitoring. We also make sure we prescribe solutions as to what to do. But where it has gotten to, it is now an issue of national security. We require that the security apparatus will intervene because we have to arrest these people, we have to stop the operations, and then again, regulators can only provide information, for national security to take action. And when it comes to that, I think we are doing our best. There are areas where we may not have access to the water because these galamseys have their own personal security, and there are times where they won't even allow access to the Water Resource Commission. But we still manage to take pictures using satellite images, and then we are able to deduce the stabilities. And those areas that we can take the samples, we do that, and then we report appropriately.
I keep using the word devastating because that's what it is. And I want to bring in Aula Sewa into the conversation at this point from eco-conscious citizens. I mean, first of all, what's your impression of the state of affairs now?
I mean, we can all see that the state of affairs is dire. Nobody living on this planet can be unaware of what is going on. So the time has ended for raising awareness. We know the state of the situation. I don't think we want to wait to see people dropping on the floor like flies before we begin to take action. We need to declare a state of emergency. If it takes, I keep on saying Ghanaians are not angry enough. We are being poisoned, and it's distressing to hear that even when the water is clear, it doesn't mean that the toxic chemicals are not there. You still have the mercury, cyanide, they are colorless. So you are sort of deceived when you see the clear water. At least when it's brown, you won't notice. But when it's clear, you are deceived into thinking that it's safe. And it might not be safe. It might be quite dangerous. So I think the time has come for Ghanaians to march to Flagstaff House and say, you need to declare a state of emergency. Or we need to call a general strike and say that until the state of emergency is declared, the army goes and polices these areas, causes the arrest of the illegal miners, prosecutions, and we begin to take the matter seriously. Nothing should go on because we are being poisoned to death and we're all sitting there. It's not a question of...
I don't think we're all sitting. I don't think you are even.
But when I say we're all sitting,
you've been doing
the
something.
The term that those who can take action.
The
journalists have the ones who have put their lives on the line. We've heard about water going there, they are facing danger. They've done all they can do. So it's a question of now the next step. We need to all march to Flagstaff House and say that we're not going to sit or stand idly by whilst we're being poisoned. I have an example like at Tromsø. The people there are very committed. They are cocoa farmers and they are activists. In fact, they have cases in court right now to stop community mining, which in many ways is the same as Galamsey. They had wind that excavators were coming to their landscape. We contacted the regional minister. The excavators got there. He did nothing that we are aware of because the excavators began to destroy the place, the farmlands. They've even poisoned the once pristine Atronsu stream. So when we know that we are being poisoned, why do we want to add the unpoisoned streams, the list of poisoned waters? I can't get my head around it. And the time for talking is over. The time for talking is over. We need to act today. Yesterday would have been the best time.
Let me usher in Vincent Opong Asamoah. He's ranking member for the Works and Housing Committee in Parliament. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Opong. We've been following the conversation to this point. From what we now know, the ministry in charge of our water resources receives reports every month on the state of the devastation that Galamsey activities are causing on our water bodies. What's your take on the matter?
Yeah, good morning to our cherished listeners.
Kindly speak up for us.
Good morning to our cherished listeners this morning. It is not pleasant, my sister, looking at what we are experiencing in the country. I am very sure that at least the government they are all aware about what is happening. This can only happen when political actors are all involved in this situation. As a result, we cannot even put the law enforcement as well covered. Parliament has all.
Your voice is a bit faint, so we are struggling to hear you. Could you please speak up?
It is unfortunate. I've just got into Accra with my constituency.
Okay, all right. We'll make do with what we have.
So the fact that we come back. So that's the situation. And I think that is the best I can do. The question is that we are of the stability level of our water as a pollution by these mining activities in this country. And as a result, even treatment of water for consumption has become so expensive. And, Ghana Water Company has always been complaining about it. But when we come to enforcement of our bylaws or our laws, there's a limitation on Ghana Water Company as to what they can do. And it is something that the head of government in this country will have to take keen interest. But if you ask yourself, even if you go to Eastern region where the president comes from, within the enclave where the president himself comes from, Galamsey activities are even worse within that enclave. So you ask yourself, how come we have all the apparatus, everything to protect our water bodies, yet we are not doing it? The fact of the matter is that political actors are deeply involved in this act. As a result, there's no political to fight against the pollution of our water bodies. I remember once I was airborne, I took pictures. We were going to Tamale, and I took pictures from Eastern region. You can see straight away patches where these Galamsey activities are taking place, even when you are airborne. And in Eastern region, you just read from Rwanda, Ghana, as to why we are doing this to our environment. And if they tell you they don't know the implication, the health implication to the citizens, then we are joking. They know everything. But the fact of the matter is that they value money in their pockets more than the lives of our citizens. So that is a big situation. They know anytime the figures come out after Ghana Water, we call Water Resource Commission, when they take their figures, day in and day out, it's deteriorating, it's not improving. Yet they can't do anything about it. Meanwhile, we have the security agencies, we have everyone, whoever is sent to the site is compromised when they find out that political actors are deeply in it. You are asking them to go and protect. No, you are deeply in it. So they are all compromised. And I don't know. Let me commend the chiefs and people of Bono and the Bono East. These are the two regions you can't find Galamsey activities anywhere. So at times when some people are getting it right, let's praise them so that other regions can also take cue from it. At times, the state can even give permit for them to do mining. But the chiefs and people within this enclave will say, no, we will not allow you to do it. You have to follow certain principles. And then so far, we don't have Galamsey activities in Bono. We don't have Galamsey activities in Bono East. So why is it that the other regions are unable to control these activities? Is it because they need money more than Bono and Bono East? I'm not sure they are richer than Bono and Bono East, because people are gainfully employed, they are doing their farming activities and other activities. So if we want to mine, no one is preventing anybody from mining, but let's do clean business. You can mine without affecting the environment whatsoever. Right. If you go to Europe, another place where they do mining, don't they do mining? But do they destroy their water bodies? The fact of them, we don't want to even make mention about it because our party and political actors are deeply in it.
Mr. Pong,
it is something that...
Mr. Pong, you said those who should be taking action are compromised. The commission in charge are civilians. That is according to Professor Suman. He said they're just civilians and it's a matter of defense. And so what can we do? You sit in Parliament as a ranking member on Works and Housing, on the Works and Housing Committee. What are you also doing to ensure that the water coming into our homes are not the reasons that we have to seek medical attention? There was a recent report about children being born these days with cleft lip. And it could be attributed to a number of cases, but it's also because of the kind of water that we are using in our domestic activity. So what are you doing about it as someone in Parliament, as someone in power?
My sister, what can you do? You always summon the Minister for Water and Sanitation. You bring the Minister for Lands and Forestry, and they'll come and give you English, and they go away. What can you do? How can you even function the minister? I think leadership of government, who is the president, who gave appointments to these authorities, will have to act. If they are not up to the task, who has the power to reshuffle his cabinet? And look at it, that's what I'm saying that. You know, leadership is not serious about this Galamsey fight. Every serious government should be able to fight this. But they are deeply in it. So after talking about it, there's no action. So what do you expect? And I'm so worried about the health implications of their activity. But people are thinking about money more than even the health situation of our citizens. And let me tell you, the cost of treatment of water, we have visited most of the intake points. And most of the intake points are so polluted. And even at a certain point, you can see some of them mining in the catchment area where we take the source of our base water. They mine in it. So who can be so confident if you are not connected in the present administration? Who can be so close to do this? They bring in Chinese people from outside. In those days, it used to be just some crude implement that they were using. Right now, they are using big-time machinery. Who can do this? If you are not in government or you are not connected to this government, who can do this? And others are doing it because they are seeing government officials deeply in it. So they are also emboldened to do so. And I'm so worried it is only government that can stop this or reduce it to the barest minimum. And if you talk about this, you are always sounding political. Yes. Apart from politics, why are we experiencing this? Why are we experiencing this? As a country, everything as if there's no political leadership. And we can only stop this when we have the right political leadership. Other than that, we will talk in Parliament, nothing will come out of it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pong. Awolasewa, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that Parliament has compounded the problem by passing LI 2462, which allows mining in forest reserves, including significant biodiversity areas. As a consequence of this, the Draw River Forest Reserve is being devastated, a once beautiful forest reserve. So I keep on making the call for a national strike, for a state of emergency. But Parliament should also have sat up and not passed LI 2462, which is most unhelpful. I describe it as a perverse piece of legislation, which is not helping us, which is also putting a place like Atiwa Forest Reserve under siege. Because you can mine anywhere, and we know that in Atiwa, for instance, 3 rivers take their source from there, and it's the source of water to over 5 million people.
Right. This is, so, I mean, the number one underlining thing here is that everybody is aware of the problem. So it's no longer about creating awareness. So let's talk about impact. Let's talk about costs, Doc. What does it cost the country now to clean this water a bit? From the documentary, we saw that that tiny measuring, cup, about 2/3 of it was filled with silt. And not only that, it means that the equipment are breaking down because it's not, designed to handle that level of turbidity that we're experiencing. So what does it cost us now to deal with this, Doc?
Thank you very much. We have the present cost, and then we will have the future cost. So if you look at the present cost, which is treatment of water, like the officer of Ghana Water Company explained, what it means is that if you are treating 10 gallons of water, you are now getting about 3 or 4 gallons. And the cost that normally you would have treated 10, you will use more than that to treat 4. So that alone, just the operational cost. Now, when you come to the area of the equipments, they have to service the equipments more regularly than they would have. Because if it is a monthly maintenance, now you have to do it weekly. That comes also with a cost, and it interrupts the water supply, and therefore they are not able to produce to meet demand. Already at full capacity, Ghana was already struggling to meet full demand. Now we have to produce 30.
Can we put a figure to it? So what was the full demand and what are we doing now?
So far, the coverage was close to 70%. So we already had 30% deficit in terms of water supply. Now we are reducing the full coverage. We cannot produce 100% now. We are producing about 40%. So that definitely brings the coverage much lower. And it is all because of the pollution of these water bodies. If it comes to the future costs, we cannot even begin to think about it, because I believe it will outweigh the profit or whatever we are getting from the gold. And it will take Ghana so many years to recover from this devastation.
You're saying if the current trend of this increasing turbidity continue, true to the words of Professor Ming, we might actually need to import water?
Well, as to whether it is even possible to physically import water, it is not an option to even look at. The cost implications, I doubt if we can do that, because then we have to rely on our neighboring countries, Ivory Coast or Togo. And these are also countries that cannot even supply 100% of water to their citizens. So how can they now give water to Ghana? So thinking of the possibility of importing water is not even a starter. We have to focus on preserving what we have, that God has given us. Ghana is naturally endowed with water resources. We are lucky, we are the downstream countries. We are already importing water from the Volta Basin system. Water from Burkina Faso flows to Ghana. Water from Ivory Coast comes to Ghana, all the way from Mali. So naturally, we are already importing water, and we should make good use of it.
But we do need to ensure that water security, we have water security, not just for us, for future generations. Imagine we all leave this country, and this is what we leave behind us. Those coming in, what are they going to do? So what is the commission? Any collaborations? What can you do, or what are you currently doing to amplify or escalate this, the solutions that we need, so that we are not just, like Aula said, just talking about it?
Thank you very much. I think the solutions are very clear, and I want to agree with Honorable Oponga Samoa. It is not a complicated issue. We all know what to do. It is enforcement of the law, and that is where we are. Technical assessment, recommendations, all those we have done for so many years. We are just left with the enforcement bit of it. And I can tell you, if Ghana really wants to enforce these laws and get away with this Galamsey menace, I think it won't even take us more than a month to clear them.
A month?
A month. That will be too long. It is a small matter in terms of the operations. I think the problem is the decision to do it.
Are you saying that if we stop today, if we stop the Galamsey activities today, the impact of these Galamsey activities can be reversed in a month?
No.
Okay.
It will take several years.
I want to understand, yeah.
I'm just saying in terms of the duration we need to stop. If enforcement starts today, within a month, we can have 100% elimination of all this situation. However, even after that, it will take Ghana several years.
What is
to recover.
several? Are we talking decades?
Decades. Yes, it will take Ghana decades. We can get our water back to normalcy probably within 4 or 5 years. But the land, the degradation of the land will take a long time to rehabilitate, and the cost that will be involved in doing that can take this country, so many years to recover. And we may never recover fully, but at least some resemblance of what it used to be before Galamsey, we may get closer to that.
Hola, as eco-conscious citizens, how do we force the hands of government? He said that it's not a complex problem. It's just about the will, in this case, a political will to fix it.
On numerous occasions, that is the lack of political will. As has been said, it's not a question of not having the resources. It's the will that is absent. We need compliance and enforcement. And who can enforce? Eco-conscious citizens can't go and enforce. There's no point in awareness. Every single Ghanaian is aware of what is going on. As I said, we want to see Ghanaians dropping like flies. Already, there's an increase in birth defects, as you said, maternal deaths, kidney disease, neurological problems, our immune system is being affected. There are serious challenges. And it's such a shame when you look at the political manifesto that we're not even bothered. We're rather thinking of licensing more mining operations. We don't seem to care. And it's a real shame. If our forefathers had been as selfish and greedy as we are, would we have come to meet anything? So we can only call on Ghanaians to stop thinking about today, but to think in a more holistic manner. You can do something. As I've said, the only thing that will force the hand of government to declare a state of emergency, and as has been rightly said, stop this menace today, is to declare a state of emergency. We can stop them straight away. Our military, which was, it was being proposed that we go to Burkina when there was a coup. We cannot even protect our own water bodies. Of course we can if the political will is there. We are being poisoned. The water may be clear, but it doesn't mean that it's not full of poison. So I think that if Ghanaians can understand what is going on, we need to go to Flagstaff House and stay there, call a general strike until the authorities understand that we don't give you power to come and just say you're putting your presidency on the line and then nothing happens. You are there to protect Ghanaians, and everybody has a role to play. The chiefs also have a role to play. The excavators and things cannot come there without the complicity of the chiefs.
And the reports we are getting is that they are very bold, you know.
Of course they are bold.
They're fearless. They don't care who's watching, what they're doing.
Said, those who are involved. We heard about Akonta mining, who were alleged to have been involved in destroying portions of the Kano Nimeri Forest Reserve. When the concerns were raised, Joy did a fantastic job. Journalists are putting their lives on the line. What did our president say? He proceeded to defend them. What we need is a proper investigation and prosecution. But they're emboldened because they know that nothing is going to happen to them.
Doc, are there any innovative technologies or, you know, policy measures, maybe technologies that we can use in the interim to fix or reverse the impact of these mining activities on our water resources? Any advanced technologies that can help, especially in desilting and purifying the water for domestic use purposes? Yeah, there are technologies that we can use to clean our waters, but you can't even do that when the mining, illegal mining is still ongoing. If we were to stop the operations of the illegal mining, then the next phase will be to look at how best we can clean our water bodies, and that is where the technologies will come in. But for now, what we can only do is monitor, get the information and data, and report, and then hope that there will be action, at least to stop this illegal mining. It used to be a little bit outside the buffer zone, but they have been emboldened to the extent that they are mining in the river, inside the river itself. So the situation is sometimes even getting the data and information can give you sleepless nights. But that is our job. We need to keep monitoring, and we need to have the information, and then we hope and we push for the action to be taken. And it has to be taken now. We can't wait any longer. Sometimes just looking at the data and information alone sickens me. It sickens you? Yeah. So we are at, what, 14,000 NTU? And, good Lord. And we are Ghana Water Company is saying that they are struggling to supply water. We've seen the shortages in Cape Coast. And very soon, I pray it doesn't, but if we continue on this tangent, we might be experiencing a water shortage here in Accra. And you're saying until we actually stop Galamsey, this doesn't go anywhere. No, it's inevitable that we will definitely have water shortages in the southwestern part of Ghana. This scares me. That we cannot prevent if things continue the way they are going. Ghana Water Company cannot do anything about it, because if you are supposed to produce 100%, and now what you can get is 30 or 40%, and you have no other source of water to treat except what we are destroying, there's nothing Ghana Water Company can do. Well, we should be wrapping up. I'll give you the first. Yeah, Ghana Water Company are not magicians. They've been warning us, warning us, warning us. We've been like ostriches, burying our heads in the sand. Yet our bodies are exactly. And what I'll say is that Ghanaians need to sit up. Ghanaians need to sit up. We are being poisoned. There's no more time to talk. The time for action is yesterday. And if we don't act now, we'll reach the point of no return. As I'm sitting here, do I know how much poisoned water I've drunk? Even the bottled water, do we know exactly where it's coming from? So let's sit up before it's too late. Before everywhere you pass, people are dropping like flies.
we need to start acting yesterday.
In fact, there was a time where you could just take water from your taps and drink. How many people are drinking water?
Something which I found very, very disturbing. I was at the launch for Poison for Gold, and I remember the head of the Minerals Commission actually saying that when he was a child, he could drink tap water, but now he would not permit his children to drink tap water because he cannot trust Ghana water to have actually purify the water. And yet he's the one granting licenses for people to go and mine in forest reserves. A word to the wise is in the north.
Doc,
yes.
Your final words.
Thank you. I think, like everybody said, the action has to be now. We cannot wait any longer. But as much as we are looking at government, I think at the community level, we can also start the action there. These lands that are being used for mining are for families, are for individuals, the chiefs, the local authority, the district assemblies. If we can all deal with the situation within our jurisdiction, I think we will not need the national level intervention. So I'm calling on the chiefs, landowners, families within these Galamsey areas. Please, let's take action to save our own lives. Otherwise, Ghana has no future.
Some families are trying to do so, but these people are armed and take the land by force. Some of the Galamseyers have been invading lands by force.
Anyway, just before we go, are you saying there's no regulatory measure right now preventing those mining in water bodies area? There's nothing like that preventing them.
The laws are there, but they are breaching the law, so you need to enforce it.
So there are laws.
There are laws.
There are laws. It's compliance and enforcement, and Ghanaians are allergic to enforcement.
You heard there Olasewa from Eco-Conscious Citizens. In the studio with me was also Dr. Bob Alpha, the Executive Director for the Water Commission's Ghana Water Resources Commission. And then on Zoom, Erastus Asari Donko joined us. He's an editor at Love FM. We also had a ranking member on Works and Housing Committee in Parliament, Mr. Vincent Opong Asamoah. Thank you so much for joining us. And I mean, really, the onus falls on us as citizens. If you see something, say something. If you see someone mining somewhere they shouldn't be, don't keep quiet and hope that magically not affect you. We are all here feeling the effect of it. Now, anyway, there's more coming your way on the AM show. Please stick and stay. Welcome back on the AM show. Now, before we wrap up for today, there is important information that you should take note of, and then we open the phone lines for you to call and share your thoughts with us on all the conversations we've had, mainly on the water situation. But Joy News and an amalgam of professional bodies is organizing a public speaking event on a theme, Transformed Individuals, Transforming the World, a challenge for the religious community in Ghana. Who are the speakers? We have Dr. Philip Engnaman, Dr. Mrs. Yvonne Yirenchua Eseku, Ambassador Umar Sanda Ahmed, who is Lieutenant Colonel retired, and the main speaker of the day is Reverend Dr. Joseph Kofi Entry. The moderator is Philip Osei Bonsu, and he's the host of Ekosi Seng on Asempa FM. This is happening on the 17th of September this month, 2024, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. sharp at the British Council Hall. And for more information, please contact us on 0244-220-427. And this event is powered by Joy News and Joy FM. Now, let's go off the overpriced land, the home ownership and furnishing deals. Get the best deals for all your housing needs at one place. You know where it is. I'm talking about the EcoBank Joy News Mini Fair, EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. We had that mini clinic a few weeks ago, and we are going to do another mini clinic this weekend. It's happening at Accra Mall at the Good Park from the 13th of September to 15th of September 2024. And the fair is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, and admission is absolutely free. So come there and explore, come there and get some amazing goodies. Be there to engage with various stakeholders in the housing value chain for your home ownership needs. It's the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair on a theme, Get a house, make it a home. This is the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the planned city extension project from cities and habitats, rent to own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value, safety, and home solutions. You think of a door, they have it. So, in other stories, your favorite radio program or your favorite radio stations are back on TuneIn. I'm talking about Joy FM, Love FM, Adom FM, Asempa FM, and Inshira FM. All your beloved multimedia group brands are now back on TuneIn. So wherever you are, we've got you covered. That's Joy FM, Love FM, Adom FM, Asempa FM, and Inshira FM are all back on TuneIn. So tune in to the best of news, music, sports, and entertainment from Ghana's top stations. Anytime, anywhere on TuneIn. Go to the App Store or Google Play Store to download TuneIn and listen to Joy FM, Love FM, Adom FM, Asempa FM, or Inshira FM to stay connected and entertained. The owners of the following company should contact the General Manager of Sales and Customer Service of the Multimedia Group by Wednesday, that is 2 days from now, September 4th, 2024, in connection with their credit businesses on the group's platform. The companies are Slate Industries, Ghana Bar Investments, Modern Initiative Broadcasting Limited, Gilly Gold Pharmaceuticals, Liberty Industries, Wadis Entertainment, Highlinks Communication Limited, Edwin Consult. Please do well to contact the appropriate authorities on your credit issues. Now, we've opened the phone lines for you to call us and share your thoughts with us. We've been discussing stability of levels in our water resources, water bodies, due to the effect or impact of galamsey activities. And I mean, we use the word turbidity just in case someone is confused. That is the cloudiness or the haziness caused by suspended particles. So in that documentary we brought to you, you saw that in that measuring cup that Kojonyako was standing by, about 2/3 of that, whatever they poured into that cup, about 2/3 of it was filled with silt. That is the particles, the pollutant that is preventing, Ghana Water Company Limited from actually purifying the water and producing as much quantity as we need. So there are challenges in supply, there are challenges in purifying, and it's because of illegal mining activities. What we know clearly is that the authorities are aware. They know the situation, and it's just who is going to stop them? It's a lack of political will. But what about you? How are you experiencing, what is your experience really of the water situation? We know that it's more in the central region, but it's not too far from here in Accra. So if you're experiencing it, or if you're in the central region watching us now, call us. The phone lines are on your screens, and let's get interactive. The sad part about this is that nobody's coming to save us, And earlier I was saying that if you see something, say something. And it sounds like when it comes to galamsey, what are you really going to say? Because everybody is compromised. No, really. If you see someone digging where they're not supposed to be digging, you should raise an alarm. Citizens can arrest. You can do a citizen's arrest. Do something other than just watch. Was it the president that said, let's not be viewers, observers, but be citizens? This concerns us. In the near future, we could be faced with water shortage to the point that we might have to import water. Can you think? For the life of me, I cannot think of it. Ghana is blessed with abundant water bodies and water resources. And so if we, based on our own activities, if we've got to the point where we cannot supply the needed quantity of water to our homes and industries, and it looks like the leaders, or Benjamin Akakpo say, misleaders, seem to be sitting aloof and involved in talk shop, and nothing is actually being done about it. The Ghana Water Resources Commission is saying that every month they supply data, statistics on the devastating nature or the state of, our water bodies to the ministry in charge, and still nothing is done about it. So I don't know what you make of it, but please call us and let's have a conversation. I believe the phone lines will be put on your screens any moment from now. Call and let's get interactive. And I mean, he was also saying that as we speak, if we're able to stop the activities of illegal mining or galamsey right now, it will still take us decades to reverse the impact that it's having on our water bodies. Can you think of that? Even if we stop today, and there's nothing in sight right now, showing us that our leaders are going to take any giant action. Was it the president that, yes, the president that was the one who said he was putting his presidency on the line. And nearly 8 years in office, I keep asking myself, did he really put his presidency on the line? If he did, where is the effect? Where is the impact? Because we don't have water. And so what is happening? What is your take on the matter? Call us on 030-221-1691 and let's have a conversation. We are all Ghanaians. And I mean, this election year, all the politicians, all the flag bearers, some independent candidates. Yesterday, there was that 12 pillars from Cheddar, Jacob Caesar, saying how he also wants to turn the country around. And we've seen what the Alliance for Revolutionary Change want to do with their great transformational plan. The NDC says they want to reset, create jobs, accountability and prosperity. The NPP says they want to break the AIDS and, you know, everybody's making some promises. What do you make of all those ambitious promises to turn the country around? And we all agree that there's something that we need to do. Ghana is not the Ghana we want. And that is why other countries are advertising to us citizens of this country. And their way of catching your attention is asking you if you're happy in this country. I received an email from some Canadian agency, or an agency that is, I think, recruiting for jobs to go to Canada. And, you know, the subject was, are you that happy in Ghana? For the life of me, I do not understand how. Right, but let me talk to Franklin from Kufuridua. Franklin, thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Yes, thank you for your insightful program. My challenge is, just as you said that the president says he'll put his presidency on the line. Unfortunately, it looks as if we citizens, after election, it ends our responsibility as citizens. As a matter of fact, my village around Nkoko, there was this Galamsey menace. I reported to the MC, I reported to the MP. I even called your Joy News reporter. And as a matter of fact, my life was under threat. So you look as if few people, in fact, if you are traveling from Kofodia here to Nkoko, right on the main stretch of Accra Kumasi Highway, Galamsey, around Usino, wherever, I asked myself, where is Environmental Protection Agency, Minerals Commission and others? Please, you see, practically, it seems nothing is working. So I don't know who is going to combat this menace. It looks as if we are not serious. And the danger it poses on the ordinary life, you and I can attest to it. So it's something else. I don't know what to say.
Ah, well. Thank you for calling. Is that sigh for me? Who is coming to save us? I saw something on social media about twins who drowned in an abandoned pit, an abandoned Galamsey pit. And it tells you that we are losing lives and we don't care about it, you know? Ah, well. But like I was saying, every major political party and the independent candidates, they've spelled out their plan on how they intend to tackle the menace. But which of these promises is feasible? Which one actually meets us at the point of our needs? And then there was that conversation earlier, I think it was last week, we had that conversation on mining and how the influx of, you know, foreigners in the mining sector is even worsening the situation. But let's talk to someone else from Tamale. Abdul Rahman, thanks for joining the program. What's on your mind?
Yes, my name is Abdul Rahman Bashar.
Abdul, let's hear your thoughts. Abdul, don't listen to me on your TV sets. Just talk to me directly.
Okay. We have lost confidence in this administration. Nothing is working. So we are hoping that the next administration, which is the NDC government, will bring hope to Ghanaians. Right now, we are hopeless. We don't know where to go. A million phone roof have turned to beggar. They are not talking to family and friends, and no one nowadays, you can't even ask anybody for money. But everybody is down to the bone. So we are hoping that that the grace of Almighty Allah, inshallah, comes the 7th December, NDC is winning, and we are going to be hope. The hope will be restored in the youth. Because without the hope in the youth, nothing will work on. So we are hoping that the grace of Almighty Allah will come to power, and all the robbery, all manner of things that are characterized by the hardship will not be there.
Thank you so much, Abdul Rahman. He says that it's so hard that you can't ask anybody for money. These days, when I have conversations with my friends, we almost always conclude with the hardship in the country. I don't know, you don't call with the intent to discuss Ghana, you know, but one thing will always lead to the other, and you're talking about how the economy is hard. Anyway, but that's our show, folks, for this morning, the Monday edition, today, Monday, 2nd September 2024. Thank you so much for spending a bit of your morning with us, and I wish you the very best of the day, the week, and the rest of the month. But I'll see you tomorrow. Coming up next is Joy News Desk with Faustina Safo. Goodbye for now.